Legendary, over to you, leadership.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the crucible of conviction, the arena where rhetoric is refined by pressure and ideology is stripped of illusion. This is 1v1 Debates, the Bullpen. Tonight, we confront a question that reverberates through every township, every suburb, every border post of this republic. Who defines the future of South Africa? In the red corner, carrying the banner of the economic freedom fighters, architects of radical economic transformation, advocates of expansive continental integration, and unyielding in their doctrine of Pan-African solidarity, stands a man resolute in posture and relentless in persuasion. I introduce to you Carlos. And opposite him, composed, incisive, and unwavering, representing the Umkhonto weSizwe Party, a movement anchored in sovereignty, constitutional recalibration, and the restoration of national primacy, a voice sharpened by conviction and unafraid of ideological collision. I give you MISA. Two philosophies, two trajectories, one nation at stake. No theatrics, no dilution, only argument under fire. South Africa is not merely observing, it's weighing in. Let the games begin. I give you the bullpen.
Legendary, that was powerful, bro. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate you. To think that I only asked Legendary literally this afternoon, and he said yes this evening. The intro is impeccable. Thank you so much, bro. Carlos and Misa, before I start to introduce the topic, I'm going to flip a Google coin to choose who is going to start first. Does anyone want to call it heads or tails? Whoever wins the toss will then choose who debates first.
Actually, I don't mind starting. What is head or tail? Okay.
Okay.
Hey.
No. You can start. You can start then. You can start then. That's fine. Both the debaters have been given the rules of engagement. However, just to go through them, you will both have 10 minutes to make your opening statements where you make your case. No interjections, no interruptions. No one will mute you or drop you. After the 10 minutes, you can use your full 10 minutes if you want to, or you can use however much of it that you're able to. After the 10 minutes, you will then have an additional 10 minutes to make rebuttals on the opening statement. After that, you will both have 10 minutes to quiz each other on questions. You are both in charge fully of your 10 minutes. If you feel like your question has been answered, or if you feel like your opponent is taking too long to answer your question and wasting your time, you can reclaim your time and they have to cease to speak. After that, you'll have 3 minutes of closing statements, and then we'll bring the audience up to come and ask you questions. No interjections, no muting, no dropping, no ad hominems or direct attacks on each other either. Misa, I'm going to give you your 10 minutes to make your opening statement.
Thank you, host. And good evening, everyone. I will start by citing one of our best African revolutionaries, Cabral, when he said, "Hide nothing from the masses of our people. Tell no lies, expose lies when they are told, mask no difficulties, mistakes and failures claim no easy victory." The reason I'm here, host, and the people, it is to say that the land expropriation of economic freedom fighters does not speak to the socio-economy of the masses of this country, which is the poor Black people. It is just a political rhetoric that is good, of course, but it does not transfer the wealth from the minority that is white to the majority that is Black. Of course, I'm not arguing the authenticity of the policy of land expropriation in either political party. I am exposing the lies under the governance of the land expropriation of economic freedom fighters. Within that policy, or within the governance of that policy, we find that the economic freedom fighters, they are saying they will only expropriate the unused land or available land. So which means they won't expropriate the land that was taken from our ancestors. They will just take the land that is left, that is not of use, from the white monopoly or the white system. And that alone, it shows that there is a masquerade around this policy within the foundation of the economic freedom fighters. That is just a populist policy that won't change any lives of the people. The reason that our forefathers, I will mention King Yinza, was unalive for this land, it is because he believed that the land is a currency and the land is an identity and the land is what a person is. So they were unalived to keep this land. Now finding a politician that comes under the policies of EFF saying that those land, they will leave them, and only challenging Section 25 of the Constitution, of which under subsection 7, it only says that the land that will be expropriated, it is the land that was taken from 1913, which means we will leave the land that was taken in the 1700s and the land that was taken in the 1800s. So you can see, my people, that it is just a political rhetorics, and there is no structure or anything that an EFF, which is economic freedom fighters, will do in changing the lives of the people. We will have as the majority to compete again with the minority, because their way of implementing this policy shows that we will not have a transference of wealth. The reason we're having land expropriation without compensation, it is only to transfer wealth from the hands of the minority to the hands of the majority, not only for the government to have a bite. When we are talking about the land expropriation without compensation, we claim that we are taking the land that was taken from our own ancestors, not the land that was taken from the government. A wise man once said, a hunter who goes to hunting and return with a goat, that is a thief. So I stand here today and say that if the economic freedom fighters claim that the land was taken from our ancestors, but it will be returned not to the individuals, not the people of South Africa, it will be returned to the government. They are just stealing as the colonizers stole the land from our ancestors. Just that they are stealing the land with a black face, not with a white face. There is no government that owned the land before the colonizers reached here. It was the people that were governing. It was the kings that were custodians. So again, if you are taking the land from the white people, you should give it to the black people, to the kings, and to everyone, so that they will have economic emancipation as individuals. Not take the land and then you keep it to yourself. You never owned land. We had our kings, we had men that were slaughtered in the battlefield trying to fight for this land. There is no politician that ever went to a battlefield to fight the people for this land. And it gets more worse when the economic freedom fighters are claiming not only will they expropriate the unused land or the available land only from the white people, they are coming back to expropriate the land from the black people and keep it under governance. So we can see people here that they just want to get rich in humiliating the people of South Africa. We claim again that the land was taken from the people and it should be returned to the people it was taken from. But under the policies of economic freedom fighters, we find out they will take even the available small portion of land that was left to our kings, including the Royal Bafokeng land. So I don't know, why are you taking the land from the kings that were owning the land if you never owned the land? And they will take again the Ngonyama Trust Fund. I don't understand, why are you taking the land from the people that have the authentic and the right ownership of this land? We just see here another form of colonialism, but from or with a black first host. So due to that, I claim the economic freedom fighters, they won't change the lives of the people of South Africa with their land expropriation. There won't be transference of wealth. They will just take what the masters have left on the table, the trumps, and then the lives of the people won't. We will have to again compete with the people, the same white people, when it comes into applying for the listing of the land. We will have to compete with them when it comes to the listing of the land. And that will make host and everyone, the capitalists, to have a bigger share because they have the funders on their sides again. They have the funders. We will have one or the other Zimbabwean issues where the people with much money will come to South Africa to list the land from the government because they have a funding and they will be able to use the land, whereas MISA and everyone here won't have the funding to work the land. And the economic freedom fighters, they are saying, when it comes to the agricultural land, of which we call it the economic land again, they won't expropriate the farms. They will leave them. In fact, they will just help the small farmers by giving them some few, I won't call it tenders, I don't know, some few things where they will use them in helping the schools and the hospitals and what. So that means, host, the land that was taken from our people by the Afrikaners and the British, when it comes to farming, it won't be expropriated. The Afrikaners again will have the bigger scale in the economy through the farming. So again, in EFF, we have no land expropriation. That's why I have said, hide nothing from the masses, tell no lies. If lies are being told, expose them. Thank you, host.
Thank you so much, Misa. Very economical with your time as well. Carlos, your 10 minutes to make your opening statement starts now.
Hey, host, I don't know where to begin because I'm quite confused though, because the land expropriation of the EFF is not the same as the one that just Misa explained or tried to make people believe. For me, I'm not familiar with what she was saying. I'm not familiar with that land policy, because my understanding of EFF expropriation land policy, it speaks to readdressing the historical injustices that will assist again into making sure that the land, it is benefiting everyone, where we are also backing that up with the ideologies of your, what you call this, social states. Again, this idea of the land expropriation of the EFF, it is inspired by the likes of China, Cuba, Indonesia, Singapore, which are putting it in practice right now, that all land must belong under the custodianship of the state, not only individuals, kings, and also and be privatized. The reason why it is structured, the EFF actually is adopting this strategy. It seeks to create what do you call this, a state capacity, and we know that the wealth of any country is within the land, because again, that is why as well also we are also fighting and also promoting or having policies around privatized, and not, what do you call this thing? The word just escaped now, but I'm gonna get back there. But we look at these things because we know the challenges that we're gonna face again. That is why we're saying that all land of South Africa must belong, not only the one for the poor or for black people or white people, but all the land must belong to the state, and the state will be the one that is the custodian. And also, that seeks again to redress the challenges of human settlement. That also seeks to redress like where we find out that there is people that wants to work the land, but they don't have funding. And again, the government is going to be difficult for government to subsidize someone who does not have a land. And again, competing with people that have money, it becomes a challenge as well, because now that's what we're experiencing right now as we are here. If you look at Cape Town, where the land is being privatized and it is only available to those that are rich. Now it's going to force now black people or poor people from Western Cape or in Cape Town to flee or to run away from Cape Town, because everything is being privatized there and becomes expensive and poor people cannot afford it. So now to make sure that now you cut or you stop the sale of land, you need to make sure that the land belongs to a government. And again, one of the challenges and people that are pointing out about this, about the policy, is that when it comes to, it's likely to chase away investors out of the country. And MISA, as she says here, that it will also allow investors to come in, and also the land will only be available to those who have money, which is not true, because again, no bank will want to give money to the state, or because remember, when you are going to the bank and you want to borrow money, even if you want to invest in that land, the land is used as a collateral if in case you fail to do that. So then I don't understand then when he says that it will change. It will make the land to be more privatized. I don't know. It will only be available to the rich. I don't understand that. But then again, like I'm saying, that she's not explaining the EFF land policy according to me and according to how I understand it as well. But again, let me just before my time runs up, and just make it simple so that you can understand. There's a challenge that we're currently facing in South Africa, which we've got like an idling land, which is not productive, which is owned by people that are not even in the country, that are in England or America, wherever. And that land is not productive and it is not in use, and people are, we've got a challenge of land whereby we need to build a human settlement and give land to people so that they can build their own houses. But now, because of this land, it's privately owned, it makes it difficult. So when you expropriate the land, that means now you'll be able to redress, to solve again the problem of human settlement, depending on if that land is it good for human settlement. And again, you're also trying to block or save people, because now what's currently happening is that you find out that you are working, many people are working are staying far from work, or are working far from where they stay, and yet there's a big land that is available that could be used for human settlement. But unfortunately, that land, it belongs to an individual that cannot even be traced, or that is not even in South Africa, that is not using it. So those are the challenges that EFF is trying to solve when it comes to expropriation of land. And secondly, we believe that the minerals that we've got in South Africa, or let me not go to the minerals. Okay, let me say this then. That is why we are also not, when you speak about land expropriation, we also include nationalization, because we also believe that without nationalization of mines and strategic sectors, it becomes difficult now to make the implementation of expropriation of land, and also to assist black people or to assist poor people. It becomes a bit difficult now without that, because now, yes, you will have the land, but then you will not have the money to maintain and work the land. And we believe that the land should belong to those that works it. And again, when we say that we are not going to take the land that is in use, it does not necessarily mean that land will not be expropriated. It will be expropriated, but it will continue being used by that person, but under a lease form. That means now you're going to have a longer lease form, like let's say maybe a 50-year lease or 100 years lease or a 9 years lease, that you can use the land, and you cannot sell that land. Because one of the challenges that we've noticed, that if you take the land, you give it to the poor people, what they do is they take that land because they don't have money. They decide to sell the land. They don't work the land, and they take the money, and you find out that whatever that you're trying to redress now, we are also moving backwards now. So to make sure that that does not happen and the sale does not become part of a sale, I mean, people, they don't extort poor people. We need to make sure that that land, it is in the hands of the states. And if you have a land that you cannot use, you cannot claim ownership of it. And again, this is to see, it helps again to make sure that it helps to benefit people that are working the land as well. That if you've got this land and you're working it, you can keep it as well. And also there will be other strategic means of making sure that you are supported in running that business, so that you don't close, and it creates employment for other people that are working the land. Again, making sure that again you're creating sense of ownership in whatever businesses that people like, for instance, workers are part of a certain scheme that will benefit them for working that land. So yeah, it's just that I've got too much on my mind, and it does not want to come the way that I want it to come. But all in all, let me just summarize what I was trying to say. Land expropriation of the EFF is seeks to redress the injustices of the past, and also making sure that the land belongs to the state, and the state will be the one that is the custodian of the land. And anyone that wants to use the land, be it poor or rich, they will all have to list the land to the government, and this land will not be and property rights of people again will not be affected by that. You will continue to own that land. You will continue to own your property, but that property will be under the lease of the government. So, all in all, I'll leave it there for now. As I said, man, that I lost my notes, so I'm just going through what I can remember this time. But yeah, I'll leave it there.
No problem. Thank you so much, Carlos. Also very economical with your time as well. Used it nearly perfectly. Guys, please let's tap to 30K. At least I think we've been here for just over half an hour. Let's tap to 30K to match with the half an hour. I can see that people are requesting. I cannot accept requests until the two debaters have completed the stages of debate. They've just done their opening statements. It's going to be rebuttals, Q&A amongst each other, closing statements, and then I'll open the floor for people to come up. But in the meantime, please tap and share the live. We're currently 28K. I appreciate that. Yeah, MISA, if you want to go ahead and with your rebuttal, I will give you your 10 minutes. You don't have to use the whole 10 minutes, but you've got 10 minutes for your rebuttal.
Yeah, thank you, host. As I've said, host, a hunter who goes to the hunting and comes back with a goat, that is a thief. We've heard from my opponent that the EFF is also seeking to take the land from the kings. They are saying that they are expropriating the land without compensation to readdress the injustices that have done in the past to our ancestors. But we find out that they have become the new colonizers, or they want to become the new colonizers by even taking the land that is left, the smaller part that was left. So they are not readdressing the injustices. They are just committing new atrocities on behalf of those who are white as the black one. I think you have said, my opponents, if you gaze more to the abyss, it will gaze to you. Do not fight the monsters, lest you become one. So I'm just seeing a new monster that is willing to take away the little that has been left from our ancestors and to our ancestors that lost the blood on a battlefield. And my opponent just told us we need to apply for the leasing. From what he has said, the land expropriation of EFF is just challenging the private land and ownership. of course, Private Land Act, not that they will take away and expropriate the land from them. They want to keep it on their behalf. So they will continue generating wealth using the same land that they have been using for centuries. It won't be taken away from them. You don't see any black person here who will benefit. They will keep on behalf of this, on behalf of the state, as the state on behalf of the people. So again, the land expropriation, as my opponent have said, it is not readdressing what is happening, which is the social economy. As I've said, we will have to deal and to compete with the capitalists of the world in working the land. He said that the land is a collateral when it comes to the bank. It is not, my opponent, under the EFF policy, because I won't own the land. So I won't go to the bank with any land. The land will be owned by the state. I need to go to the state with the funding that I already have. And then I will say to the state, I have this funding. I am planning to use this land. So which means Rupert will have much more money and funding than me. And if you understand the geopolitics and the geo-economic system, you know that the white people, they will have more funding than the black ones. So I cannot compete with Rupert when it comes to the leasing of the land. In fact, you won't take the land of Rupert. And when it comes again, I'll talk about Eastern Cape Host. We've got the game reserve there that are being owned by the capitalists from the Middle East. So EFF, that game reserve, which is in game hunting, we know that the hunting, it brings a lot of economy, it contributes more like 45.6%, and South Africa is #1 in the world. The people of Eastern Cape will never get anything from that poaching, from that game hunting, because the EFF is not willing to take that land from those people. They don't want to take the land from the people, and the land should work for us at the end. That's what I have been saying. I don't have problem with land expropriation, but the land of an expropriation of EFF is not authentic. He has said that China has the land belong to the state. That is true. Zimbabwe, the land belong to the state. Zambia, the land belong to the state. Have we seen anything? Nothing. Have you seen anything that the lives of the normal citizen or an average citizen changing? Nothing. So I won't need to go to bank with the land, which is the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, to go to the bank with the land, because I won't have the land. I will need to go to government and ask for assistance and compete with the people that have been accumulating wealth using this land, that have been accumulating wealth for centuries. So the poor people under this land expropriation of EFF, they will continue being poor, and the richer will continue working the land, being rich. That is where I'm saying host. And I can see, as outspoken on the Section 25, the EFF have said nothing about changing the kind of sovereignty that we have, which means for real, they really don't want to expropriate the land without compensation, because you cannot expropriate the land without compensation under this constitutional sovereignty. They are not even challenging that. At least we should have parliamentary sovereignty, because under constitutional sovereignty, we have signed some treaties on the international stage. So there is nothing that is going to happen when they are saying we can only amend Section 25. That is impossible if we are still under the constitutional sovereignty, unless we under parliamentary sovereignty. So I can feel like deep down, the EFF know that they won't expropriate the land, because a fundamental principle in the expropriation of a land, it is about changing the kind of democracy. So we will move from the treaties and the signatories and then have a parliamentary democracy. Then the parliament, whatever the parliament is saying, it won't be sent to the constitutional court, and the parliament will have the final say. So what I'm saying is, the land and expropriation of EFF, it is just a populists that are masquerading as revolutionaries. That's why I'm here. Thank you, host.
Thank you so much, Misa. Carlos, your 10 minutes for a rebuttal starts now.
I don't think I'm going to take 10 minutes though, but
That's
let me
okay. That's okay,
go.
my leader. Yes, go ahead.
First of all, I don't understand what MISA is all about. How do you say that if the land is taken from the private hands or from whoever that is, he has the land right now those who own the land right now, and is given to the state, and then how do you say that if people that have money and own that have money and are working the land, that is not going to benefit the poor? What do you mean by that? Because first of all, if you've got money and you work the land and the land does not belong to you, it belongs to the state, it means now once you start acquire land and you are using it, that means you are going to create employment. So employment is going to come through to those that are working the land. So again, you will not take land and just give it to people who are not going to use it. And she's also saying right now that poor black people, they don't have money to work. To work the land. So now, if the land is given to them, what are they going to do with the land? Sit and watch and look at the land? No, the land needs to be given to those that are going to work it. To curve the again to fix or to counter the challenges of food security, and also to make sure that people are not just owning land and they are not using it. Because what's the use of you owning the land if you're not going to use it? I don't understand that mentality when it comes to MISA, because the reason why we want the land to belong to us, and we also want to stop this thing of privatizing land, because the land currently is being privatized to a lot of people. That hence I've made an example that in Cape Town that is happening. And now if we were to take the same model and you apply what is happening in China, you will understand or will see the structure or in how the EFF sees the land belonging to the state and how it will benefit the people of the country, and also how it will benefit the state as well, in making sure that the state is capable, is capacitated to take care of its own citizens. So I don't understand when you say that if you take the land, if you expropriate the land and you allow investors to come and invest on the land, you are making the rich the poor. I don't understand that. Because I believe that even if black people get that land and then they go to and seek for subsidies or funding, they are also participating in the economy. So when you say that they are not going to participate in the economy, only Rupert is going to participate, it does not make sense to me. Why would you expropriate? I mean, if you expropriate Rupert's land, yes, it's fine. But then you cannot take that land away from or stop Rupert from using that land, because that land is productive and it is feeding South Africans, and it is also keeping South Africans saving food securities that is happening, or however you may want to look at it. But that land, it is effective, even if you don't agree with the model of Rupert or you don't like Rupert. But currently, Rupert is feeding a lot of South Africans by creating employment and is working the land of South Africa. If you don't have people that are going to work the land, where is the jobs are going to come from? Because you need to have that land being in full use. And again, unfortunately or fortunately, people that have got land, they've got money, and you cannot take that land from them, because if you take that land from them, that means now you are threatening food security. So we need to look at those things there. We can't just look at it in the sense of owning it, because there's nothing that stops us right now from taking the land, and then after that what? So we need to be intentional. Why are we doing certain things? And hence I'm saying that if you look at the model of Singapore, you look at the model of China, and those states, and especially China, is a social state, and that's what EFF believes in as well. It believes that the land, the land should belong to the people, and the people must work the land. So again, expropriating the land, it will focus on that, especially the one of the EFF, not the one that MISA is explaining. MISA is not explaining the expropriation land policy of the EFF. I don't know what she's explaining. I'll leave it there for now.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Appreciate that, bro. Guys, we are now going to go to the Q&A, but please let's keep tapping the live. Please keep tapping the live. We've been here for about 38 minutes now. Let's try and get to 50K. Also share the live as much as you can to other people as well. We are now going to go to the questions and answers. Just to go through the rules of this part again, MISA will have 10 minutes where she will ask Carlos questions. Carlos, just so you are aware, she is fully in charge of this 10 minutes. If she feels like you are taking too long to answer,
Can I interject? Can I request something?
yes, go ahead.
Can you please can she ask one question, not too many questions, and then I respond to that question? I don't know. How is that? Isn't that not better?
That's a fair
Because if
request.
you're gonna take 10 minutes asking a question, I'm gonna end up forgetting whatever that she asked, or even answering it
Yes, so
appropriately.
yes, no problem. So what this part is usually like a back and forth, like a question and answer. So she'll ask you a question and then you answer. However, she is fully in charge of this 10 minutes. So if she feels like your first sentence answered her, she will stop you and then she will continue. Okay, it's like a cross-examination. Thank you, Sigma.
Okay,
If she
thanks.
feels like you're taking too long to answer a question, she also will reclaim her time and you have to stop talking. But you will also have your own 10 minutes so that if you missed anything during her time, you can come back in your 10 minutes where you are fully in charge of and cover what you wanted to cover and then ask her questions. And if you feel like she's not answering you correctly or she's taking too long and wasting your time, you can reclaim your time and she has to stop talking. Is that fair, yeah?
Noted.
Okay, thank you. MISA, your 10 minutes for Q&A starts now.
Thank you. Carlos, may you please tell me, an individual South African, how do you use the land as collateral in a bank if the land is owned by a state?
Say that again.
As an individual Black South African, how do you use the land as collateral if the land is owned by a state, not by you?
Oh, what I was, what I don't know. I don't think that you can do that. But what I was meaning, Mina, when I was applying, answering, as I said that, I said this is what I meant. That if you are going to go to the bank and ask for funding or ask for funding or a loan at the bank, at least if the state, you go to the state and you acquire the land and you tell them this is what you want to do to the land, and then after that you go to the state agrees to give you the land, and then you go to the bank and then you say to the bank, listen, this is what I've acquired this land from the state and I'm looking for funding to work that land, and this is what I want to do. So in that format, that's how I was referring it to. I don't, maybe for lack of a better word, I use collateral, but what I was trying to say is that the land in it's like owning and getting the land from the state as well. It will also give you what do you call this thing? It will give you a better chance again of acquiring funding when you go to the bank.
Thank you. So you mean that under the policies of EFF, if Rupert comes with already a funding and I come without a funding, who has more chances to get the land?
Again, Rupert has the land right now that he is using. So I don't understand that question, because again, we're not going after the productive land. We're not going to expropriate or move people from productive land. People that are working the land, they must continue to work the land, even though the land is still it still belong to the states. So Rupert, I don't understand that question, because Rupert, why would you go and acquire land while he has a vast land that he's not even using right now, and he's got land that he's using? So I don't understand that. But then again, to answer that question as well, if Rupert goes to the state and says that he wants to use the land, surely he's going to get the land because he has money to work the land. Now, a black person, unfortunately they need to make sure that they acquire funding before they acquire land. I mean, they need to acquire land before they can acquire funding. So if you don't have that land, then how are you going to use it?
I'm reclaiming my time. So who are you going to prioritize? If you have someone who has funding and wants the land to work on it and employ people, and this one who has no funding but still wants the land, who are you going to prioritize?
You prioritize those that are going to work the land.
Those who have the funding.
No, those who are going to work the land.
Again, let me repeat my question. You've got two people here. There is this one who already has a funding. I made an example of Rupert and wants this land, and there is MISA who has no funding. In your system or your governance in land expropriation, who are you going to prioritize in giving the land? Both of us are gonna use it.
Okay, if we look again at what this seeks to do as well, land expropriation as well, and certain things you need to be intentional while you do them as well. And again, if your intentions are to equip black people or poor people, you need to make sure that you give them a fighting chance as well. That means you need to, as a government, that's why we say that you need to capacitate the government, so that if you go to government and seek funding, and then you are also giving black people or poor people a chance to participate in the economy as well. So you need to be deliberate and intentional when you do that as well. So you're not only just going to look at Rupert on himself, but you also need to be intentional in making sure that you assist black people as well to grow and to develop them as well, equip them.
So you have not answered my question. You have people, you can cite for me within your policy, in your governance. You have two people here, the black and white. Your policy said that you are not racist. So it is about the chances and those who will work the land. You've got two people, the black and white. The white one already has the funding. The black one has no funding. They want to work the land. Who are you going to prioritize there? They
I'm
meet all the
answering you.
requirements.
I am saying that the states or the government as well needs to be intentional on how they implement those things. As well, the intention again, it is not to make the rich richer, but it is to make sure that everyone that wants to work the land has got an equal opportunity to work the land. So again, you need to be intentional there. You cannot give funding or give priority only to those that have money and leave behind those that have the will or that wants to work the land. So you need to be intentional and also find a way of making sure that you also pay attention to those.
Thank you, but again, you have not answered me. I think you have not appealed to the policies or the governance of the EFF. You're telling me what a government should do. What is the EFF policy saying? Who are you going to prioritize? The one with the funding or the one without funding just because it's black?
I said, okay, let me just say this thing. When you speak of prioritize, again, I'm telling you what we're prioritizing. We're prioritizing productivity. We're not prioritizing an individual. We are prioritizing in productivity. But in doing that as well, you need to be intentional that you don't leave certain people behind and let only those that have money to participate into economy. You must also give a chance to those that who don't have but are willing to work the land. That's how I'm answering this question.
Okay, thank you. Even though I think that you did not get my question, tell me, how are you planning to have this land expropriation if you have not challenged the democratic sovereignty that we have in South Africa?
I currently believe for me that the Constitution of South Africa is well equipped to redress the problems, any challenges that we currently have. And I don't see a reason why we cannot play around it, because it gives us what it needs for us to do. So if you don't want that and you want a new way of acquiring, I don't know, then we would see, because in my standing point of my understanding, again, I am using what is available to us, which is the Constitution. Without that Constitution, I have not applied my mind, or I have not gone past that.
Thank you. I'm reclaiming my time. So in that constitution, how are you going to deal with the treaties and the signatories that South Africa is part of? Let me make an example, the General Agreement on Trading Services.
Say that again?
How are you going to deal with the signatories that South Africa is part of in that constitution? Example, the General Agreement on Trading Services.
Like I said, that we have to play by the game, by the rules of the game. So whatever that is put in front of us, that's what we need to work with. We're not here to change what do you call these things, the treaties that have been that have been put there, or whatever agreement that have been put there. We're not doing that.
I'm reclaiming my time. Do you understand what is the General Agreement on Trading Services within the World Trade Organization?
I might not understand that. I don't understand it. Or maybe if you become clear, explicit in that, and explain it, then I can give you.
Okay, thank you. According to Article 4 on this, we are signatory on it. We World Trade Organization.
You are swallowing your words. You are swallowing your words, and sometimes I can't hear you.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Forgive my French. Okay. As we are signatories in this World Trade Organization, Article 4, a General Agreement on a Trading Service, all members can't expropriate the land. the members there, equity caps, so you cannot do any expropriation. So if you're still going to appeal to this, how are you going to expropriate the land?
I don't know what you mean by that, because currently there's been a land expropriation bill that has been submitted to our parliament. If that was the case, then why was that land bill taken to parliament? So surely there is ways of working around that also, because we do have land. The bill has been sent, and it has actually discussed even right now. That's why you find the likes of about Trump having giving South Africans or even Ramaphosa a hard time. It is because of this Land Expropriation Act. So then if you say that is going to be a problem or it cannot be done,
Sorry, I'm
why is it being
reclaiming,
done
I'm
right now?
reclaiming my time, but you cannot appeal to this land expropriation because even your party EFF did not vote for it, because it is just a fraud. It's not the real authentic land expropriation. So if you're gonna cite it, in fact, I think the land expropriation of EFF is like that one. It does not change the status quo, nor transfer the wealth. So you cannot cite what even your political party does not stand for and say that it is a fraud.
Again, the Land Expropriation Act of South Africa, it does not seek to replace white oppression with black oppression with white oppression. Again, we need to understand that. So the way that you are putting it right now, it's like it's black versus white, and that is not the case. But it is the case of making sure that South Africa is functional, and black people have got a fight chance, and there's equality, and
Thank
black
you so
people have got a fighting chance again in participating in the economy.
Carlos, sorry, I'm about to start your 10 minutes now for your Q&A. You are fully in charge of this 10 minutes. Ask MISA any question. If you feel like she's wasting your time or she's answered your question and you are happy with the answer, you can reclaim your time and she has to stop speaking. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Yeah, unfortunately, host, I have no question for MISA, because what she's explaining, it's not the land expropriation of EFF. She's explaining something else, or something that she believes is the land expropriation of EFF. And I think she needs to spend more time and study what the land expropriation of EFF says. Right now, if you have to go to any article in the newspaper or go to search the internet, why is it so? Why people are against the EFF as well? It is because of this expropriation policy, land expropriation policy. And again, they are showing their concern, and also how difficult it is. Why it would actually take us probably to they believe that it will take us to the root of Zimbabwe. That's what they believe. But then EFF again it's got its own way of implementing its land policy. But the one that MISA is explaining is far from what the EFF stands for. So unfortunately, it's a pity that I've lost my notes, man. Otherwise, I could have engaged her even further just to explain to her what land expropriation of EFF is about, not what she's asking me. Because what she's asking me, or what she's narrating to me and to everyone listening here, it's not the land expropriation of EFF.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Notes or not, my brother, I appreciate you here. I really appreciate you being here. You could have cancelled, you could have pulled out, but you still showed up and you came. So I really appreciate it. MISA, you've got 3 minutes to make a closing statement.
Thank you, host. People of South Africa, host, it is the same as if I'm reading obituary here, because my opponent is already unalived. He doesn't understand the land expropriation of EFF. Neither did he debunk anything that I've said, nor does he has question. So I do understand. Host, we have a problem with the rules of the radicals, where the real revolution has been hijacked, and the real revolution has been used by these populists of African politicians. The reason from the start that Okrisa were unalive for the land expropriation without compensation, the reason that Uking Yinza was unalive on a battlefield for the land, the reason that Umaqoma was sentenced to Robben Island for the land, it is because the land belongs to the people and it is an identity of the people. It is because the land is wealth. So when we are talking about the land expropriation, there should be a transference of wealth from individual perspective, from one person to one person, not a land being owned by government. We can see what is happening here. EFF land expropriation is just one people who will be dependent on the governance. Again, as we are dealing with it right now, you have heard my opponent when I was talking about land expropriation. He spoke of the people investing and others being employed. The reason we wanted the land, we didn't want to be employed. We wanted to be the masters. We didn't want to eat crumbs that are left, the land that is not working, the land that the masters are not working. We wanted what belongs to us. What belongs to us? It is the entire land, not the land that is not being used by the masters. So what I see here, it is just the people who are safeguarding the masters, and the economy should stay within the circle of the white people. And from the Judeo-economic system, the world will come and invest on the white people more than me. That's why I was asking that question. Who will they prioritize between me and a white person that has funding? So they are just defending the masters. And I can see when a host that really my opponent doesn't understand why we want the land expropriation without compensation. It is what is ours. It is our identity. The land is the currency. It belongs to the people. It should be given to the people. It does not belong to any government. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misa. Thank you so much, Misa. Guys, please let's tap. We're nearly at 50K. Please let's tap to 50K. And I think you guys have shared the live a lot, but keep tapping. If you don't keep tapping, guys, I'm going to take your phones and give it to Amapara. They will use it better. Carlos, 3 minutes for a closing statement, my leader. Carlos, let me send you to the mic. Sorry.
Sorry, again, I find it difficult to argue or to debate with people that are spreading misinformation, because what she's narrating here, it's not, like I said, it's not the land expropriation of EFF. She's explaining something else, and I'm trying to respond to her based on what she's putting forward to me, and it is not exactly, it is not even close to that. Again, I don't understand when she says that you must take the land and give it, transfer it from one person to another, and it says that the expropriation land of the EFF does not do that, because if you're removing the land from the private hands and you put into the government, which means the government is the people, I don't understand what it means, that unless, according to her, white people are not South Africans, or they don't belong in South Africa. I don't know. Maybe that is her understanding. Then it's fine. But according to my understanding, again, following the Freedom Charter and also the Constitution, that South Africa belongs to all who lives in it. And again, land must go to those that are working it as well. Because I don't believe in, again, taking land from someone who's working it and to give it to someone who's not going to work it. How are you transferring that? Because that we are likely, if she's explaining what she's saying, we are likely to go to the route of Zimbabwe, where you just take the land from white people and you give it to black people who are not going to use it. So you need to make sure that, again, you are responsible when you transfer the land. It needs to you need to protect food security and also capitalize the state as well. That's why, again, I said that we believe as well into nationalization of mine banks and all strategic sectors of economy as well. So I don't understand if she says the land exploration of the EFF does not speak to that. I don't understand that, but I'll leave it there. Let me not say much, but I would advise MISA as well to please go and study the land expropriation land of EFF, not what she's explaining, because what she's explaining, it is not the land expropriation of EFF. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlos. That concludes the formal debate. We are now going to bring up people from the audience who are going to come up and engage with MISA and Carlos. I'm going to try and bring up the speakers proportionately so that MISA is not the only one who's answering questions, or Carlos is not the only one who's answering questions. You will each have 3 minutes to interact with the debaters. In that 3 minutes, you can ask a question or make a statement, but try and ask your question and use your time very wisely. Carlos and MISA, the people coming up are in charge of that 3 minutes. If they don't give you a chance to finish, don't worry. As soon as they finish, they will drop to make space for someone else, and I will give you guys ample time to address whatever question they asked that you didn't have a chance to finish answering. So I'm going to bring people up, but I'm going to try and bring them up proportionately, guys. Clint was literally the first person to request, followed by Akola. Can I please ask at least one moderator to assist with bringing people up? At least one moderator to assist with bringing people up. And also when they finish asking their question, just drop them immediately so that we can make space for other people. No offense, guys. If you get dropped, it's because we're making space for other people. Is there anyone who's a fighter there at the bottom? I don't want Carlos to be the only one answering questions. Okay, just the rules of engagement, guys. You've got 3 minutes. You're fully in charge of that 3 minutes. After the 3 minutes is finished, you have to stop, and then you will be dropped to make space for other people. Unfiltered or Zonwaba can assist with bringing people up and dropping people off, please. I'd really appreciate it. No ad hominems, no insults, no direct insults at any of the debaters, please. Okay, if you do that, I'm gonna be forced to intervene. Akola is here, so that's fine. Clinty, get 3 minutes a second.
Thank you, much appreciated. Greetings, everyone. No, it was a good debate. Carlos, you were very good. Honestly speaking, forget about the gifts that my sister MISA received. It doesn't make her a better debater. The gifts that she received doesn't make her a better debater. You were very well. It's just that we don't have gifts to give you tonight. I'm going to say this, my brother. First of all, is that you cannot justify the wrongs of Europeans and trying to, just because of the sentimental values that you have, because you've been colonized, now you want to justify what colonizers has done to you. Now, what's happening currently in South Africa is that because when you have been abused, and you don't want to recognize that you've been abused because the same is so hard to accept the reality, you try to let other people feel that your abuse is right. Now we want to go, for example, land rights. First of all, it belongs to all of us as native people. I'm going to say it again. Land rights belongs to us as native people. Now we want to justify because we were wronged and abused by white people. Today we don't even speak about what the whites have done wrong in South Africa. And I'm going to say majority of the people that call themselves patriots, majority of the people that call themselves the doulas, majority. You will get 2 or 3 of them that understand what I'm talking about. Majority of them love white people more than they love any person that has a black skin. Majority of them. And we call it subliminal consciousness. You have been brainwashed to the T that you even speak these things in your social circles. You come on these lives, we rebuttal you. But when we say we sit 1 and 1, you don't speak about this stuff because you know the stuff that you're speaking here is hogwash. First of all, there's one enemy in South Africa, and that's the European settlers. I heard what you said earlier on, Brother Azania, that we can at least defend South Africa with the white Afrikaners. I don't even know how you came to that conclusion, my brother. Because the white Afrikaners themselves is freedom from plus. And they preserve Afrikaans language first in the Afrikaner culture. I don't know how you came to that conclusion about that Afrikaners would defend South Africa with the blacks. They will never defend South Africa with us. These are the people, when the Groot Trek happened, this is history. When the Groot Trek happened, when they moved up into South Africa, they unalived many of our people.
Clinty, your 3 minutes is expired, bruh. Excuse me a second. But just to be fair to everyone, I have to keep it strict to the 3 minutes, bruh. Sorry, ne.
Sorry, thank you.
No,
sorry.
Listen. Feel free to request again, and then you can come back up again and continue, make a statement or ask a question. The 3 minutes is yours. But just to clarify, earlier on, I was not making a statement. I was asking a question in the hopes of stimulating a debate, an engagement with the people that were on the panel. It wasn't a statement. It was a question. Who's next? Akola. Claudia, you've got 3 minutes to ask a question or make a statement to whoever you want to. Your 3 minutes starts now.
No, thank you very much, host. Misa, can you please tell us what is the MKP? What is the MKP standing for? Which ideology is it leaning towards?
Thank you, Agola host. I don't know whether you need to explain for Agola to stay within the parameters of a debate. Thank you.
Thank you
Claudia,
very
she's not
much.
going to answer your question. You can go ahead, Bra. That's another
No,
one.
no, I want to thank her for that because it's clear that the MKP has got no political standing. Only seems like it's taking us back to the agrarian primitive stage. Misa, does the MKP believes in Pan-Africanism, nationalism, or what are you leaning towards?
Host, again, I think my brother has, my opponent, I don't know whether the fighter doesn't understand to stay within the premises of debate. May you please try to remind him what is the topic of today? Thank you.
Claudia, she's not going to answer the question. If you have another question or a statement, bro.
Thank you very much, Mr. That proves to us that you do not really know where does this thing of taking the land back to Amakosi coming from. So we appreciate you for that. It's very much clear that you still have no idea on what are the basic foundations of politics. And hence you have this so-called Jacob Zuma leading you. And then the last question, Mr. that I would love to ask, do you believe in Marxism or socialism, Romanism in the aspect of Africa because that speaks to the land?
Again, host, if Agola wants us to talk about Leninism and Marxism or Marx White, we can schedule another time. For now, let us stick within the parameters of a debate. Thank you. The land expropriation without compensation of EFF. That is what the
Thank you
topic is
very
about.
much. Thank you very much, Mr. You can hold your horses right there. Thank you very much. It's very clear again that you do not really understand that your leader is one of the people who is pushing for the EFF land expropriation without compensation, but we do not expect you to understand that and to articulate it well the way he himself, as Jacob Zuma, as an individual who's got a political party with no founding manifesto, with nothing at all. We don't expect you, nor do we judge you for not understanding what those policies stands for not understanding what is Nkrumahnism. That is why you had to go to Morocco and yet you come back to us and tell us about colonialism. Thank you very much for being lost.
Thank you so much, Akola. We will move on to Zonaba. But just before we move on
May
to
you
Zonaba,
please give me my time, host?
to respond, yes, I'll give you 2 minutes to respond. But just
Yes.
hold on 1 second, Misa. Just to kind of clarify, guys, we do have a topic. And if the speakers don't want to answer your question because they feel like you are operating outside the perimeters of the topic, then I can't insist that they answer. I think an example just happened now. So if Misa objects to the question because it's outside of the ambit of what she prepared for. Same thing as Carlos. If you ask Carlos a question and he feels like it's outside of the ambit, I can't make him answer. Okay, so if they refuse to answer, I can't do anything about it. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Miss, I'll give you 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you, host. The problem of not being able, like Agola, to break what people are talking about, of generalizing everything that you know. If we allow these people who someone will come and ask me my favorite dish and Jacob Zuma's favorite dish, now I have to answer that. This is an art, of course. It is about being able to hold your emotions and stay within the topic. Any question that I will take here, it is about the land expropriation of EFF. I won't be discussing anything that's to rub the egos of the people and give them some bravado. Thank you, host. So anyone who comes up and asking me, it should be within the premises of the topic. I'm not here to discuss weather with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Misa. Zonaba, your 3 minutes.
Hi, host. Thank you. I've got a question to the EFF, right? Maybe Carlos, my first question is, what model is the EFF going to use in terms of the land distribution? And the reason I'm asking that, but before, please do not tell me the importance of the land. We know that. I want you to break it down statistically to say that in South Africa, the land mass is so much. What has been occupied? What is vacant? Just break it down for me. Now, the reason I'm asking that question is, how are you going to expropriate the land that is co-owned, right? Because you guys have a problem in Abazungu. If it's co-owned by a black person and a white person, how are you going to expropriate it, right? Next question is, I think you failed to answer, MISA, in terms of privatization. Now, in privatization, my understanding is that the EFF, if you want to expropriate the whole of South Africa and it becomes, then the land is owned by the state. So that means you are actually going to revoke our title deeds. And apparently, you want us to lease our land, which we bought, for up to 25 years. So every 25 years, I must go back to the EFF offices or the government and say, oh, I'm still alive. Please renew my lease. So I'm concerned about that. Last one. In terms of the South African Constitution, the Section 25, which part of it do you guys want to amend? And what is the relation of it in terms of the bill of the land expropriation that was assented by Ramaphosa last year, January? Thank you, host.
Carlos, you can go ahead.
I'm not going to play into the hands of people that are just using big words to make themselves look smart or sound smart. Again, that's not an insult to the person that asked the question, though. I'm just saying that in general as well, because again, I'm trying to simplify this thing. If you speak about land expropriation of the EFF, it is clear that all land of South Africa must belong to South Africa. Irrespective of who owns it right now, it must belong to South Africa. But that does not affect or how to put this? It does not. It does not affect property rights as well. That people that are owning their properties now, just because now you've owned that property, that means you're losing your property, or you lose the value of your property because now the land belongs to the state. You'll continue to own the property; it is yours. But then, unfortunately, that land you will be leasing that land to the government, which means that you can have maybe 100 years of leasing that land as well. But it does not necessarily mean it does not necessarily mean that now the land in itself, it must be like your property now by itself as well. It belongs to government. No, it does not belong to government. It still belongs to you, but now the ownership of the land itself, like I was saying again, if you look at the model of China as well, and how China does it, and also how Singapore does it as well, those things are very protected. Property rights are very are protected of individuals as well who owns properties. So when we speak about expropriation of land, we're not choosing which land. All the land must be expropriated. Even the one that is currently in use or productive, it needs to be expropriated. But when it's appropriated, does not mean that now the person that is working that land loses the land completely, or stops to work the land. That person continues to work the land, but it will be expropriated. So I don't know if maybe I've answered you, or maybe I'm saying something that is far off from what you want to hear.
You did not answer, but it's fine.
Thank you so much.
Just last one. Can I claim back my time, host? Just maybe just one last
your
question.
3 minutes. Your 3 minutes finished.
Really, Carlos, what?
But you are in charge of it. You could have stopped it. Yes, you can come back. Feel free to come back. I just need
I'll
to
come back. All right, let me just drop for others. Thank you.
And can you help me with bringing people up, please? Kaiser, your 3 minutes.
Host, I'm not gonna be here for a very long time. I've got a very short. I need to go. Not far from now.
Yes, no problem. How much time do you have, Carlos?
I'll give you until 20 past.
Perfect. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate it. We are at your mercy anyway. Kaiser.
Host, I'm going to do what you used to do in the township when someone is a star and she's penciling. We used to say, oza wena MISA, oza wena ngqondo yakhe yamsebenzela. No, I'm afraid. I wanted to see the carnage at close range. I never seen a situation where someone doesn't even want to take his time. You know, here's your 10 minutes. If MISA is wrong, correct it. Here's 10 minutes. I wash my hands. I wash my hands. I don't know what is happening here. Now, host, it sounds to me like EFF will be doing more of exactly what ANC is doing. Rupert will still get to do whatever he's doing because it's seen as productive. He won't be interrupted because he's busy, you know. All you have to do as a beneficiary of stolen land by colonizers is just to look busy. You know, you just have to do exactly what you are doing. Keep feeding the nation, keep being productive, and it's not going to matter that the land was stolen, right? So basically, EFF is going to do more of exactly what ANC is doing. Those people who inherited stolen land, as long as they keep it busy, they are not going to be interrupted. That is the gist of the argument that we had. People are searching in the dark like Steve Gegana right now. We had people talking about Tutula. Tutula is not involved in this debate. The debate is the EFF land policy a scam and unimplementable or the only path to economic freedom? That is the debate. When you are searching in the dark, uzothinta nezinto ezirong, uzogcina usithinta namatotolozi. Mangaba ubone vele uMester.
Kaiser, hold on, bro. Yo.
Mangaba usaboni kahle.
No, Anna, we don't do that.
I
Come
reclaim
on.
my time. Ngicela ubuyisa isikhathi sami.
You can answer 10 seconds, case.
All right, because bayaphuphulela labantu. Bahamba nje bafuna in the dark. Awazi ukuthi but if you are in the dark, you must tell unganyakazi until ikubuya futhi ukukhanya. We understand that because kuyabonakala mfethu kuyaphuphuliswa la. We give up on the 10 minutes isikhathi esiningi ngaso time you have in front of 160 people to say MISA you are wrong. This is the real EFF policy. That is how we debate to say you couldn't be more wrong. This is the real policy. You mustn't debate by saying you are wrong, I don't know what you are talking about. Go and do your research. Aibo. Thank you, host.
Thank you so much. Carlos, you've got 2 minutes to respond to that.
Okay. Again, host. This is what I'm talking about for me, and I even said to you, for me, I feel paralyzed when someone spread in misinformation because right now, when I came to the live, with the intentions that we are going to speak about the land expropriation policy of EFF, and what was presented in front of me by MISA, that's not the land expropriation of the EFF. So for me to argue with her on her fallacy or hate when it comes to EFF, it becomes difficult for me to try and correct that because she believes what she believes and there's nothing that I can do to change that, whatever she believes. But what she presented in this platform, it is not the land expropriation of EFF. But then for fairness, host, can you please schedule us because I need to come and rectify something. And I'm going to make even more research to coming back. But I want us to speak about the land expropriation, the land policy of EMK, where MISA will be representing the MK, because right now he's only speaking about the land expropriation of EFF. So please, for fairness as well, I would like to come back and also we debate the land expropriation of the MK, because nothing
Absolutely.
in whatever that she said, she did not touch or explain where she stands. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much, Carlos. Absolutely, bro. I would be more than happy to schedule that. We will talk in the background. Solomzi, you've got 3 minutes. Carlos, I know you're supposed to be leaving in 3 minutes. If you can spare us, an extra 5-10, I would really appreciate it. But we are at your mercy. Solomzi, go ahead. Your 3 minutes starts now. And sorry, guys. Anna, you can't unmute your mic. The whole purpose of this is to try and keep order and make the panel fair for people who are debating. So don't unmute your mic, even if you don't agree with somebody. Go ahead, Solomzi.
I'm quiet. What's wrong?
Okay, thank you. Carlos, my brother, I know you fought, you fell into the traps. Some of them I felt like they were traps, but it's okay. We'll have another day to fight. Come back with your notes this time and Yabo represent. Here's the thing, land expropriation, EFF. Everybody talks about it. Nobody really understands it. But let me try to make it clear in this 3 minutes we have. You cannot speak about land expropriation of the EFF without talking about socialism. When EFF gets into power, there will be socialism in form, meaning socialism is for the people, by the people. We're going to take the land as the EFF, and we're going to take companies, we're going to take mines, we're going to take strategic companies that's going to benefit the country, making sure the country is powerful enough to move, to create jobs and to create its own things. Another thing, we're going to have our own bank. In the country right now, Reserve Bank does not belong to South Africa. It's privately owned. And why the land? Why is such a big thing in land? Majority of the land, 90%, is owned by a white capital monopoly. They always talk about 70% of arable land that is owned by whites. No, I'm talking about square foot of the land, 90% owned by white capital monopoly. We are living here day by day. We are living in someone else's land, a white man's land, when it's owned by the state, and the state is it's socialism. It's not this capitalism we're living in. Socialism puts the people first. It's all about the people. The people own the shares of the companies that they work in. The people come first. Under socialism, you will win. Under socialism, land expropriation makes sense. This land expropriation, just the way MISA was saying it, it's unfair because she's using rules of right now. Even the constitution will be changed under socialism. We cannot have the same constitution because the constitution is binding and it stops the government from doing certain things. There are certain things that are impossible under the constitution we have. It needs to change. A lot of the parts of the constitution needs to change, if not the whole thing. And we need to bring in a new way of thinking and a new way of doing things by putting the people first. Umisa talked about kings. Why are we talking about kings? Why are we talking about kings? To be a king, first you have to conquer. These kings were conquered and they lived through apartheid. They sold out the people. They were giving money to the government by the apartheid government to look over the people. They sold us out long time ago. They don't deserve anything. They don't deserve to be kings even now. All of them, all of the kingdoms. That is the one thing I'll say about kings. And land expropriation without compensation, whether they like it or not, we're going to have our economic back by force because they will not give it willingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Misa, just because we're tight for time with Carlos, can I just keep the mic moving? Just so that if people want to interact with Carlos, at least he's still here.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. Thank you. And Carlos, when you want to drop rope, just let me know. Just give me a heads up so we can have a one bite before you go. Mrs. K, 3 minutes.
I'm actually ready to leave though.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. If you need to run, bro, just feel free to drop. But thank you so much, Carlos, for coming, bro. Even though you lost your notes, you could have just decided not to come, but you did come. I appreciate it. I will schedule that debate for MISA to defend the land expropriation bill of MKP. But we'll pin a date, my brother, and we'll get it done. I promise you. Mrs. K. Guys, so far we've been doing really well. We've been doing really well with how we engage with the panelists. We're keeping it nice and cute and clean. Let's keep it up. Keep tapping as well, though. Mrs. K, go ahead. You've got 3 minutes. I don't know whether it's me, but I can't hear Mrs. K. Is it me?
I also
Smooth.
Yeah, Mrs. K, we can't hear you. Mrs. K, drop and come back. I'll keep the space for you. Sigma, go ahead.
Azania, before my time starts, may I just say something real quick? I'm concerned about people leaving because this is part of the debate. The Q&A is actually part of the debate. That is how formal debates work. So for people to just leave willy-nilly when those questions are waiting for them is just so disingenuous and bad faith. The guy is running away, literally. He is running away, and it's unacceptable. It is sabotage, and it is disrespectful to all of us. But it's fine. We'll address it another time. You may start my timer. Thank you, Azania. So I think first of all, let me just address this lie or this falsehood that you can take land as collateral to the bank. That is not how banking works. So you need to understand that state-owned land is not bankable collateral because it's risky for the bank since you do not fully own it, okay, as a private citizen. Because for land to be used as collateral, three things must happen. So number one, you as a borrower must have full legal ownership and the title deeds. And number two, the ownership must be transferable, right? And the bank must be able to attach it or sell the property if you are no longer able to, if you default for whatever reason. So, and so if the land is owned, partially owned, then it cannot be used. That is a lie. That is not how banking works. These people know nothing about banking. But I'd like to direct this quick question to Carlos since the guy left. To Solomzi. Solomzi, can you tell me one country on earth where socialism has worked? Quickly, because the time is running. Just one country.
Russia, China.
Sorry?
Russia and China.
Okay. That is laughable. Okay. And tell me something. So how much land do white people own in South Africa in percentage wise? Like just the number.
90%.
Sorry?
90%. Not white South Africans, but the what do you call this? Foundations and what they own it through Marabone, they own it 90%. It's 90%.
90%.
90% of South Africa is owned by white people.
Okay, that is not what the land audit, the latest land audit says. That is a lie. But okay, so how much land does the EFF want to expropriate without compensation?
100% of the land, the whole South Africa should belongs to South Africans.
Imagine listening to this guy while you're high. But thank you, Asanya.
I take the guy. I take the point.
No, there's nothing to attack there, my brother. You're very knowledgeable, and you defeated me. And MISA, well done. That was, you know what? That was like so unfair. It was like a cat playing with a mouse. You clearly had the upper hand throughout the debate, from your opening statement to your very closing. So well done. That was really, really beautiful to listen to. Very educational. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sigma. And I have to agree with you, Sigma. I would have loved people. Generally, I would love people to stay and engage after the debate, but we are at their mercy at the end of the day. If I could pin them for a commitment, I would love that. But yeah, we hopefully next time, maybe the next person I bring up, I'll ask them to at least dedicate an extra hour after the initial debate so that we can have an engagement with them. But we were at the mercy of Carlos's time, and he's quite busy, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree with you in principle with your statement. Who's next? Lovely, and then Hamilton.
Yeah. Good evening, guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I've just joined now. Sorry, but I can see that you're talking about land expropriation and something like that.
No, 1 second, bruh. So we just have to go by order. You will have your chance to speak. Don't worry, my leader. You'll have your chance to speak. Go ahead, Lovely. 3 minutes.
Okay. I don't really have a question anymore because the person I wanted to ask question is gone. And
Host, can you please mute your mic?
close your mic.
Host, can you please mute your mic?
Sorry. I'm busy
Mute
as well.
before you
It's
hoover.
okay. Yes, it's okay. I'll mute.
Okay. So yeah, I was just saying because I'm realizing that Solomzi, I was gonna maybe ask you, but it looks like you've got a different you are coming it with a different angle from what Carlos was debating here, because Carlos told us that the land that you want to expropriate is the land that you want to lease to the people, and you are not going to get the land that is being in use. So, but now I hear you saying about expropriating 100%. I'm not quite sure that you're gonna be able to answer me. So, the question that I was going to ask him is that.
Can I just answer that question, please? Can I answer that question?
No,
You
no,
can ask any
daughter,
question.
daughter,
I will
wait,
answer.
hold on, guys, hold on. Daughter, you will get a chance to speak, my brother. So the format, daughter, is the bullpen, right? The two debaters debate, and then after they finish debating, people come up and make submissions and comments, etc. They each have 3 minutes, no interjections, no one's going to get muted, nobody's going to get dropped. So don't interject until your time comes, and then when the time comes, you can answer whatever questions people have asked, but we can't unmute when people are still speaking. Lovely, your 3 minutes.
Thank you. In any case, yeah, my argument on the matter is like if we are saying we are going to get the land that is not in use and give it to the people, but make them lease them, why those who are owning the land now are not being now made to lease that land at the moment so that everyone can start, like be on the same level of leasing. Now they have got ownership, but the new people who are given back their land, and rightfully is the land that might not be arable, is the land that is on the outskirts, that they are given or distributed to them, but it's distributed in a way that they have to be leasing it for about 99 years. And I am for the leasing of the land, especially for people who are not natives. So if we are making natives lease the land, but the non-natives, they have to lease the land, I mean to own the land in full, because we don't want to take the land from them, because we don't want to upset them in a way, I don't think is a good thing. I really don't like that. So why don't EFF now get away with the expropriating of land without compensation? Because obviously what we have been fed today, it shows that there is no land that is going to be expropriated. And if there's no land that is going to be expropriated, then you cannot say you are going to expropriate without without giving anything back. So you are point blank going to distribute or redistribute the land that is not in use. So I don't know, Solo, if maybe your colleague did not understand, because maybe he was not understanding the topic. He thought MISA will be talking together with him about what the EFF mandate say. But that's not what it was. He had to be explaining to us what it says by the EFF, and MISA was going to be debunking him. You can answer me if anything.
Yeah, no, me, I don't mind answering in the light of Carlos because now I understand this argument. Well, here's the thing about what you're asking. You're typically asking, Guti, it's not possible, it's impossible. I think that's what you're asking. Is it possible for land expropriation? Yes, it's possible. When the EFF wins, it will take all of the land and it will not pay for the land. If you live, residential land is not that much. You know, it's like something like 14% or something of it's not a lot. It's small. The EFF can come and say, yeah, 100-year lease. But it's a lease. It's not, you don't have it. You don't own the land that's underneath. You may own the house, but you will not own the land that is underneath. It will belong to the government. It will belong to the state. The same way you pay my services, it's going to be the same system. You're going to pay my services for a land. Maybe a small nyana 20 rand or 30 rand a month for the land that is underneath for the 100 years. Mara, in doing so, you empower the people because you're giving the government more power. The government can do more things. I hope that answers you.
The ones who are owning the land won't be giving it
Lovely.
away.
Lovely. Sorry, my leaders, the time has expired.
Sorry, yes.
Hamilton, 3 minutes.
Sorry, host, before we go to Hamilton, is there any question for me so that I will leave, I think.
We are point.
Chin. Yeah.
Hayi sisomdala hlala zikhona questions for wena undoda uzoba ne-question for wena. I'm sure no communist will have a question for wena. Yima miss. Hamilton.
Thank host. Yeah. Sometimes people are just delusional. Greetings, everyone. People sometimes are just delusional about this thing. Anyways, Ah, the guy is gone. Okay, let me ask Misa a question. Misa, do you think that the EFF strategy of land expropriation will work in South Africa?
Actually, I do think it might work. The reason I'm saying that, it is not the real land expropriation. It is the same as this one that President Ramaphosa signed. If you read their document on land expropriation.
All right, no problem. Can I just say this instead? Um, we've had people saying that land can be used as collateral, whatnot, whatnot. Like, does that even make sense that you are saying to us you don't own the land, but you're bringing the land as part of the collateral to the bank? Make that make sense. How do you bring something to the table that you don't own as something that will be the means of or breaching the contract between you and the bank? In case things goes wrong, they'll take your land, but you don't own that particular land. How does that even make sense? People must not come here and just use words like collateral and whatnot to make their points, because some of the points are very baseless. And again, some people don't know that uh, uh, um, the total area of South Africa is not that controlled by minorities and whatnot. Some people are talking about arable land. Some people are talking about commercial land. You never understand what type of land people are talking about. Some people talk about the whole area of South Africa. It's just confusing. It is just like this Pan-Africanist thing. It has a million iterations. Minanje, I, Ian Klula. Anyways, thank you, host.
Thank you so much, Hamilton. Communist, you've got 3 minutes, my leader.
No, thank you. I feel like somebody just came to lead evidence so that MISA can say things about the EFF. I don't understand. But if that's how you guys have been engaging, then you've been trying to lead a propaganda. But I doubt if the host will actually engage in that. Look, currently there's still land in South Africa that is not registered. We need to start there. There's still land that is available. About 6% of South Africa's land is still not registered, meaning it can either be private or state-owned. So to talk about the expropriation of land, in terms of the EFF or in the understanding of the EFF, all land of South Africa will belong to the state. And once that happens, it means the land will be devalued. You cannot use that land as a collateral because that land, you don't own it. There's no way you can take a loan against a land that doesn't belong to you. People must represent the EFF properly and not mislead, because at the end of the day, you are going to say things that you can't defend here. Once the land belongs to the state, you cannot go and get a loan with that land. That land belongs to the state. The only thing that will belong to you is the building or the structure that you build. And that is going to bring down the price of the house or the price of the property, because currently, as things stand, people are paying a lot of money for the land that they don't even, necessarily own. Because if you look at it, if you go to the rural areas now, the land of the rural areas that belong to the kings and queens already belongs to the state. The kings are only the custodians of the land on behalf of the state. So when you say we can't expropriate, I don't understand where you get that, because the same arrangement that works in the rural areas is the same arrangement that will work everywhere. You don't have to own the land. Whoever wants to use land can simply go to the relevant department and make an application. If whatever that you are saying makes sense, then we allocate land for you. You use it for whatever agreement. So you don't have to really, throw this out of proportion as if it's something huge, something foreign. It's already there. The part of the South African land already belongs to the state. Currently, the only thing that confuses people is the 72% of the land that belongs to white people, and that is farming land. It's farmland. Because if the only thing that confuses people when we talk about expropriation, honestly speaking, is the farms. not necessarily the land that nobody's using, because that land probably already belongs to the state. That's why I'm giving an example with the rural land where kings and queens still prevail. You realize that you just go there with 50 rand or 70 rand and you get a stand. That is the type of arrangement that we need entirely in South Africa. Is anyone willing to ask me a question with anything regard to the land in terms of the EFF as policy?
To be fair, after that submission, I think I'll allow if anyone has a question for you, just briefly. If not, communist, if you can stay put, I would appreciate it. But if anyone has a question for you, I think I'll allow. That was a powerful submission. If not, we'll just move to Ndota. We'll give you 3 minutes. Ndota, can I ask you a question first before you come in? I think I might like to invite you.
Yes, host.
Okay. Okay, it's okay. We'll chat. We'll chat in the background. It's okay. Go ahead. Your 3 minutes.
I was just here, guys, to answer any question related to land. You know, when it comes to EFF, I'm here to answer any question. If let's say you have any question in relation to a land question whatsoever, I'm a member of the EFF. So I was here to maybe just to assist Solomzi and Carlos. And now communist has said everything. So guys, you can answer, you can ask us any question. Now we are here. We'll answer any question.
Is there anything you've heard so far, whether during the debate or the subsequent submissions, that you don't agree with or that you would like to clarify, or you just want questions?
The issue, I've just joined you live now.
Okay.
Only now.
Okay, that's fine. So go ahead.
Thank you. Greetings, host, panelist, and the comment section. I think 3 minutes is going to be too much. I just came here to give MISA her flowers. You cooked MISA. That was a beautiful, beautiful presentation that you gave us. And yeah, guys, I always say that taking the land is not revolutionary. Building systems, it's what is revolutionary. We've seen Zimbabwe took their land. Their land is in the hand of the state, but because of they have no systems in place, their country is a shithole. Nigeria, same thing. Many African countries, So guys, let's start discussing on how we're going to create systems. Just look at what's this company, Airbnb. It owns no hotels, but yet it's one of the most successful party in and hospital in whatever it is. Yeah, it's doing far better. Let's create systems, guys. Let's build institutions. Let's build infrastructure. Let's educate our people. Let's stop this balloon of land, pretending as if we're going to own our land tomorrow, then our problems are going to end. We've seen time and time again, EFF is corrupt to the core, so is the ANC and many other political parties. Now, what I don't understand is that people make it seem as if once we own the land, then our leaders are not going to be corrupt anymore. Hey, and guys, let's stop this, man. We can't fight to be tenants in South Africa. I mean, I still want to own my house or the piece of land I own. I don't want it to be owned by the state, Why would I want to be a tenant? Yeah. Why would I fight to be a tenant? Nah, come on, guys. Some of us, we love our properties, we still want to invest in them. We want to make money the day we sell them. So yeah, let me pack it there. Thank you, MISA.
But the problem is once you start talking about corruption, you'll have to bring evidence. You can't talk about corruption and keep quiet. You can't talk about corruption and park it there. You can't talk about corruption and park it there. You'll have to substantiate, my brother. You can't say that.
I did.
Communist, just allow him to finish his time.
I already did. Spoke about it. How the EFF is not saints, man. We know that Malema is corrupt. Yeah. You think taking out a pew pew in a public space, that's not part of a corruption? That's clearly being corrupt. I mean, the guy literally destroyed a municipality there in Limpopo.
That's the
You
3
know.
minutes
Thank you,
expired.
thank you.
What
So
happened?
shooting a pew is corruption. No, let's park
Hold
it there
on.
then.
It shows that you don't follow laws. And if
Hold
you're a
on,
law-abiding citizen, you'll follow the law.
wait. Time is finished, guys. Wait. We need to move on to Apiwe and then bring up new speakers. Communists, I'll come back to you. We just need to finish with the new speakers.
All right. Is it my turn to
Can I
speak?
drop for some other speaker?
Is it my turn, Moss? All right. Okay. I want to say a few things first. You know, what I've noticed about politics in South Africa is that one of our leaders are not held accountable for anything. For instance, the leader of the MK party has never been held accountable. He has never clarified his party's land policy. What I don't understand about this debate is that the MKP and the EFF stand for the same thing. They have a similar land policy. On page 6, on the People's Mandate, the MKP's manifesto, it is stated there that they also want land expropriation without compensation.
Can you stay in the topic, please? Please, host, not to be
Yeah, man, I'm
disrespectful.
talking about land.
Yeah, but can you not bring the
Wait,
MK?
Just allow me to finish, Mrs. K.
Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, the MKP stands for land expropriation as well. They also want to transfer ownership of land to the state and the traditional leaders. So I do not understand like what is the background of MISA's argument, because her party stands for the same thing. You see, so my question to her is this: why is her party like advocating for a land policy that wants to take away land ownership and land rights from black people and give it to the state?
Sisomdala, I don't know if you want to answer.
Again, host, I'm still within the parameters of the topic. The topic is saying the land policy of EFF is a fraud, a scam. It does not change the socio-economy of this country, not change the status quo. That's where I am. The whataboutism will come another day. For now, let us be within the parameters, at least a formal debate.
No, akho miss. Apiwe akazukuphendula bra, but ukhona enye debate ezawungena with uCarlos noMisa.
Yima yintoni kanti le nto ebeyithethelela yena apha kule debate?
Nansi topic, but uzawubuya uCarlos noMisa and then i-topic izawuba i-policy, land policy
Okay, akho ngxaki.
ye-MKP.
Okay. All right.
Ndizakui-invite vele uphinde ubuye mbenjani, ungawari. Ayikope 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, guys. That was an amazing debate. Miss, you made us proud. For Carlos, we used to have those excuses in grade 2 that the dog ate my homework. So we understand he lost his notes as well. Now, I wanted to ask Komisa that you've already alluded to the land that is being owned by the chiefs and the land that is being owned by the state. Are you able to quantify how much of that land is being owned?
No.
No. I'm asking Komisa. The current land that he spoke of that is being owned by the chiefs and the other one that is being owned by the government.
The communist.
Yeah, the communists. Sorry, I just made him a Komisa.
Communist, you can go ahead and answer.
Okay. Now, we are in a situation whereby UMISA presented her case and we haven't found the other side presenting their case. We're at a point whereby South Africa has always had three land reform programs. It was restitution, redistribution, and land tenure. And I think 2 weeks ago, we found a family that got their land tenure, whereby their family goes back to the 1900s when they were indentured servants in a farm, and it's over 100 it's over 100,000 hectares. I think we all saw that family, you know. So where we are right now, we already have land that is arable, that is in black people's land hands, whether through the government or through the traditional leadership, which are also the other arm of government. Now, I want to find out, why can't the EFF help us to develop the land that we already own? Look at the arable land in Matatiel. Look at the arable land in Eastern Cape. Look at the arable land in KZN, where I'm from. So what is the plan? Why can't we use what we already own that is within our hands? And you guys help us to get title deeds, help us to get funding, because every province actually has a homeland. You know, it's not a complicated thing. You don't need to disrupt the markets for you to do something. Right now, you guys are focusing on the 70% of the already commercial land that has already been developed. You guys are not looking at developing any other land that exists. I can tell you one thing. If Eastern Cape could get the fishing rights that the community of Umtwalume or Nyandezulu in KZN have, Eastern Cape would be a much better province.
Thank you.
And also, just a quick one before I drop for Kaiser. Another thing is, we already have a situation whereby the traditional leaders are not accountable to the government. The Ngonyama Trust has refused. Yes, the Ngonyama Trust has refused for the past 20 years to actually release financial statements, audited financial statement. And it's not only Ngonyama Trust. Do you think Utalinge Boga Sabata has released audited financial statements? Now that he is in bed with Israel.
Zansi.
Yes, my leader. I really appreciated the debate. Job well done to my leader, Nisade. You know, sometimes people just want to thumbsuck and not come with facts to the table. Now, recently, we just heard that the other leader there said that the land that is owned by kings belongs to the government. How so? Because according to my knowledge, a trust simply means that the person that is a trustee, which is the king currently under Mrs. Zulu, holds the trust on behalf of the Zulu nation, which is about 2.8 hectares, equivalent 30% of the province of KZN under his trustee. So it is confusing that he comes here and boasts and with pride boasts that our kings do not own the land that they are currently on. I would want to understand clearly and fairly, who does this land really belong to? Does it not belong to the kings and the nations that the so-called colonizers came and found on this particular land? That would be the first question that I put across. And two, has any political party claimed to own the land besides under the state? And where do they think they take the authority to then dictate to the kings which part of the land they can own or not? I will rest there, my leader.
Thank you.
My brother, the people shall govern. When you say the king holds the land on behalf of the Zulus, that is the state land. The state is the people, my brother. Stop saying things you don't understand here.
Let's be factual. Don't come with emotions, my brother. Be factual. When we are speaking now on the basis of umthetho, what does a trustee mean? And when I'm telling you, I'm giving you the actual numbers under the Zulu Trust, in the Ngonyama Trust, which is about 2.8 hectares. That is under the trustee of the king, as we speak, which is about 30% of that land mass of KZN. Do you think I'm just sucking up these numbers, or I'm actually coming up with facts on the table?
No, you yourself just said he's holding that land on behalf of the Zulus. You did not say it's his land.
So that is one thing that I'm trying to debunk. You telling me that that land
No,
belongs
I
to the
told
government.
you.
It does not belong to the government. It belongs to the king
I've
as a
never said
trustee. He's
I've
the
never said
sole.
chief. There's fundamental difference between a government and a state.
Hey, this
There's a
person.
fundamental difference. Please,
Okay,
please go and
guys,
differentiate.
the
Please
time has
go find.
expired.
Please go.
Communist.
Please
Wait,
go
hold on,
find the
guys.
difference between a government and a
Iman,
state before I can engage you.
Iman, communist and I'll actually, guys, I would like to have you guys back for a debate. I honestly would when I'm not a communist. Seula, 3 minutes, guys. After we finish with the current speakers, I'm gonna ask Ukeza to open unless there's another person who's open. Ni migrate again, ni bengama foreigners and go to another life. Seula, 3 minutes.
No, thank you very much, host, and thanks for everyone on the panel. Misa, congrats, you have done very well. You know, there's one thing, host, and I actually wanted to ask a question, but I think the communists somehow answered it from the question of Mzanzi. But I have a comment, and this starts from, I think, Clinty. You know, when he came, he actually congratulated Carlos and said, Carlos, he has done very well, you know. But on the very same statement, he was he was debunking Carlos. You understand? Because Carlos said that the land is going to be shared amongst those who work it. You understand what I'm saying? And then and then he came. He actually said the land is going to be given to the native. You know, but on the very same side, he is actually on the side of you know, and he was actually also talking about the Operation Tutula. You can see that he did not read the prompt properly, you know, which was an embarrassment, to be honest with you, you know. And there was a gentleman, what's his name, the other one, he came, Somizi came and actually was saying that he was talking about the issue of the kings and chiefs, and saying the land must not be owned by the kings and chiefs. But when you listen to the communists, it's as if now, you know, they are debunking one another. You know, but at the very same time, they are congratulating. You know that I've never really been so confused, host. I don't know. Like, you know, sometimes I think, you know, people need to listen to themselves. And this was the embarrassing moment from the side of the EFF. And I feel like, you know, the likes of Book Communist there, you know, maybe perhaps it seems like he has got, he has got some answers there and there, you know. Maybe it's very strong to debate in this kind of things. But it was so funny, man. It is funny. And Miss Awa, you really did well, you know. I thought I know I'm so confused. I know, man. I've never been so confused in my life, host. I, I don't know, man. I so Miss was I thought it was embarrassing, man. EFF, you can do better, man. Communist,
Hey,
please. Next time you
I,
need to bring people that knows the policies of EFF so that
oh,
they can present you very well. Ndota, I'm sure maybe
okay,
you can do better, man. And this is
okay,
not to undermine EFF.
Thank you,
I'm
Seula.
sorry, man. But the
okay.
person was representing you
Thank you, Seula.
it was an embarrassment.
I am here now. I am here now.
Thank you,
That's
Seula.
why I've said, guys. I've said to you guys, ask any question. You understand?
Daughter,
I've asked you.
hold on, Seula. Seula's laugh is like contagious. Daughter, I will invite you, Bra, and you and the communists on different topics to come in and debate on the panel. It's a pity you came in late, you know. I don't know when communists came in, but it's a pity you came in late. But yeah, don't worry. We're gonna work on something. I'm gonna send you guys a DM. Mrs. K should be speaking next, to be honest, because she's been dropping multiple
Okay.
times.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Oh no, thank you so much. Misa, thank you for staying, bro. I just wanted to say, there's a Nigerian song. I know that I'm a patriot and I'm not supposed to be singing Nigerian song, but it says the emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here. Bruh, you cooked. Look, slow cooker. We saw them even in the comments. They came and vented. You did what you had to, and thank you so much for the knowledge, and thank you for dropping knowledge all the time and not using emotions. And this goes to prove beyond the fact that we are ready for a female president. Every day we come to this panel and it has been proven that women are 10 times intelligent than men. But I digress. you know it's crazy that we have old men here coming to stroke each other's egos even when they are wrong. People like Solmosi coming here, so means saying that they're gonna take everything and everything. In the same breath, we've heard people that claim that they're socialists wanting to keep capitalist people around. You cannot say that you want the capitalist socialist state, but you want to keep someone like Rupert around and you want to protect Rupert. And it's the very same EFF that stood there and sang the song and said, Anna life the poor, Anna life the farmer. And then he comes and asks us to say, do we think that white people are not South Africans? They are the ones always saying that, but they again turn and try to use that argument against us when we tell them what we've heard them say. And this is what we say. People speak in the same voice, and they want to make everyone look like we are confused. We know what we are talking about, and this is what we are saying. We cannot trust flip-floppers. We cannot trust people who don't understand their own policies. When they are talking, no, guys, I'm in the car.
Hey, Mrs. K, don't know whether it's your connection or what's happening, but we can't hear you anymore. We can't hear you anymore at all. We can't hear you, Mrs. K. Sorry. Kaiser.
Okay, can you hear me now so I can wrap up quickly?
Yes, that's better. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
but again, I think we need to go deeper on this conversation because we have a lot of questions to ask. Personally, for me, if this is about taking land back for South Africans, I need the very same EFF people to tell me that are they gonna rectify also the wrongs that were done by black leaders? For example, Shaka Zulu, when he drove out the Shaganis and then Debeles, are they gonna go pick up those people and bring them back to South Africa and also give them land? Are they also going to benefit in the socialist state? What is going to happen and how it's going to happen? We have a lot of questions. So I think for now we're just going to let it rest here. But again, Misa, we are so proud to be represented by you. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much for the panel host.
Thank you so much.
But host, I don't know whether I can answer this thing, man. Really, because now it looks like these people are taking EFF for something that they don't know.
No.
I need to answer. In order for me to be happy, I need to answer
Just to
them
be
now.
fair, yes, that's okay. No, I'll give you a chance, I promise you. But just to be fair, let's give the other people that have not spoken yet a chance to speak. We'll give Ukeza. Lovely did speak, but we'll give Lovely a bite as well. Ulelo, and then you and communists can then clarify anything that you want to clarify.
No, you can give Lelo before me.
Yes, that's fine.
Host, what I want to say is that if this was a contract, let's say it's a contract and people are saying this is the deal that we are giving you, and then Carlos gives you stipulations of the deal, and then Solomzi gives you stipulations, and everybody was represented EFF here. As a human being who is supposed to sign that contract, I wouldn't advise you to sign it. It's a mess. Like, I think the most basic thing we can admit, there is no consistency in what we have heard here. There is absolutely no consistency. And anybody who comes in and tries to answer the question will more than likely create worse of a mess because he will likely debunk what other EFFs have been saying. Like, it's messy enough as it is. I think it should be left alone. Hopefully people will forget this day. It will disappear forever in a distant memory. Now, people who say the state will own the land, you'll own the building. I don't know if they are familiar with a doctrine in property law called the quick quid plantator doctrine. In full, it says quick quid plantator solo cedit. It means that whatever is planted on the soil is ceded to the soil. In other words, anybody who owns the soil by default also owns the building. Guys, this arrangement that is being explained there, it will leave you owning nothing. And it will inadvertently create a superpower in the form of the state. That's what's going to happen. And with both political power and so much economic power in the hands of the state, who's going to hold each other accountable there? Because by design, the state and the economy must basically compete against each other and hold each other accountable. Immediately when you put those two things under one umbrella, it's a blunder, it's total power. And I'm not convinced that the EFF is led by superhumans who are immune to corruption when they have that much power, because we know that power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. A situation where the state owns everything is extremely dangerous, and it's not going to help the recovery of black people. It has had the tendency instead to create black elites who are bullies and don't tolerate dissent. You know, the point I wanted to make, host, is that even if you are told you own the building, you don't really own the building, because whoever owns the land owns the building as well.
Hey, what do we call it? The doctrine of what? Yes, Kaiser. Thank you so much, bro. Lelo,
It's the quick quit doctrine, bro. You must watch out, especially as someone who wants to buy property.
Thank you so much, Kaiser. Lelo, 3 minutes.
I'm already panel. Yazi ndifike apha late ne I join live late and understand aba umisa ebethetha ngepolicy ye-EFF. I don't know. Andiyazi uba umisa ezoqhutyelwa izandla as if ngoyena mntu uthethe kakuhle indaba yeland ye-EFF. I don't know, but ulive ndimjone late ndimjone kasekuqaleni, but andiyana uba I don't yazi the reason why mna ndisuggest ukuthi EFF members mazingazi ko-live benu is because ndiyathanda ukwenza ingathi thina ingathi into siyithethayo ayivakali. Nifuna into efuneka ithethwe nini okanye ngabantu benu.
What happened to Lelo now?
Host, I want to sleep. Let me say this. Look, when we say something is owned by the state, it's actually things that even when government changes, these things will remain. Then they're owned but things that are dependent on government is those things
Sorry, communist. Can I give you a time of 5 minutes? Is 5 minutes enough?
Can I ask a question before so that communist can wrap up what I'm asking him?
No, you can give me whatever the time.
Okay, communist. Lovely wants to ask you a question so that you can answer as well as you summarize. Is that okay?
Okay.
Lovely, go ahead.
Yes, communist. I'm still asking the same question that I asked about expropriation of land. When expropriation of land was started, the movement of expropriation of land, it was expropriating the land from Amabul with the land that they have taken from Abantu, Kadipili, and the Bible. So now you are talking about the land that is owned, that was already segregated for the people when the homelands were built. And also, the people of I will tell you about the Abandebele. They have already taken, without the help of EFF, they have already went and claimed their land that were taken from them in Pretoria. The Mandebele and the Bakatas, they have taken that land for themselves, and they are still on negotiation for the other part. So when you're talking about the land that is owned by the kings, when you say there is a lot of land owned by the kings, so are you going to expropriate that land that was from the homelands? That's my question.
All right. No, the question is very brief and very simple. It's as simple as ABC. Look, when we say all South Africa's land will belong to the state, first of all, the EFF still acknowledges the kings and queens of this land. Once we agree on that and we can all settle on that point that EFF still acknowledges the kingdoms of this land, that simply means we are not going to take anything away from them. Instead, the same arrangements that is working in the rural area, actually the land expropriation that we are talking about is similar to what China is doing. If you have, taken your time to go and check the land, situation in China, because if you go to China, you'll realize that the rural land is owned by the villagers. And in South Africa, because we still have the king, the monarchs, surely those rural land will still be administered by those tribal authorities. So that's what we are talking. And then when it comes to this urban land and any other land out there will belong to the state. Why is that necessary? That is necessary because we don't want a situation where our people sell the land back to the same private ownership, because that is going to 100 years from now, we will still have a situation where the coming generations are saying, let's expropriate land. Because once you take the land and give to the people, let me tell you this without fear of contradiction. Part of the reasons we are where we are today, some of the lands, when we are saying people stole land here, it's not entirely true. Some of the lands were bought from these kings and queens. If we are going to say, now you are given land, you've got the prerogative and the total authority over that land, our people are broke. They are simply going to name the price to the Chinese. The Chinese are going to buy all South Africa's land. Before you know it, we are back at square one. That is why we believe that the state must have the sole authority over the entire land of South Africa so that we can protect this land. Now, when you are asking me what we are going to expropriate and what we are not, we are going to expropriate the entire land of South Africa and have the monarchs presiding over the land of South Africa, according to their jurisdiction. That is important. So when we are approaching the question of land, let's be emotional because your grandfather owns a piece of 330 hectares somewhere. You think we are going to take that? We are more concerned about making sure that when we are talking about development, if we have to build a factory, we are not going to negotiate with anyone. The state can wake up tomorrow and decide that this is the land that we are going to allocate for this purpose. It's very important. So if we are going to have a problem where we need to go and negotiate with Mr. Van Tonder, part of the reason why development is so slow in South Africa, and we are blaming our government, rightfully so, because they failed to expropriate land over the past 30 years. You find that they want to build RDP houses, but for this specific group of people, they don't have land available around where they should reside. The land that is there is private owned by Bumaponya and your white peoples and Indians. Before they can build RDP houses for our people, they must first go negotiate a price. This guy, because he wants to hold on to this land, he will say, give me 500 million. Our state, for them to pay 500 million, it means whatever the project that they intend to build there, it's not going to happen in the next 20 years to 30 years. It's very important that the state must own the land so that whenever a need arises to engage in a certain development, they are not going to negotiate with anybody else. We keep saying, no, the cities that we have are built by apartheid government. Yes, they are built by apartheid government, because if you were to look at the size of a land that is going to be required to build a city, first of all, they first have to approach some white guy and pay him. Because you don't just build a city anywhere and everywhere that you wake up and wish. These cities are built strategically for specific purposes. So you find that where they should build, like your urbanized, or where their industries, or where their mines and all that, you find that there's no more space available. The only space that is there is private owned, because when private investors buy land, they buy this land strategically around cities. So now it becomes a problem to expand and develop the places for people. So The EFF says we are going to expropriate land without compensation for equal redistribution. Now, let's talk about the MK understanding of the land question. The MK says they are only going to go back until 1652. And if we are going to go back until 1652, this simply means whatever that happened to land prior to that, they are not interested in. That is why the EFF's policy is more clearer in that regard to say, we want the entire land of South Africa to belong to the state, not up to 1652, not up to 1913, but entirely.
Thank you so much. The time has expired. I gave you 5 minutes, my leader. I just wanted to ask quickly before I tell MISA why I brought it back up. Communist and Order, do you both believe in nationalization of banks? Just a quick yes. Yes.
I do.
Do you believe in one African currency?
I do.
But if we are going to talk about nationalization
No. That's not the topic. I'm just asking. I'm trying to orientate myself because I want to invite you guys to debate.
No, if you are going to ask me a yes or no, then you want to trap me, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. Let me tell you why.
No, communist. Communist. It's not that deep.
I'm not going to allow you to do that.
Communist. It's not that deep. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm just trying to orientate myself, and then we can have a further discussion when I invite you.
How do you understand nationalization?
No, that's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to understand where you stand with it, and then I will send you a DM or not a DM. I'll send you a DM probably on this one because
the EFF doesn't talk about nationalization of state. It talks about creation of a state bank. So when I answer you, I have to answer you in terms of what the EFF is saying.
That's okay. Creation, nationalization, it doesn't really matter. I was just trying to understand if you agree with them or not, and then I was going to engage you both to see if I can get you guys to come and debate on the panel on the platform about one currency or creation of a state bank. That's all. I wasn't trying to trap you or anything like that. But yeah, we can engage in the background. I think I'll DM Undoda because he's and go further with him with this topic. Anyway, I would still like to have you a communist on at least maybe one of the other cardinal pillars of the EFF for further engagement. MISA, I brought you up to thank you for your time and short turnaround and willingness to come and debate. That's why I brought you up. Nothing else. I thanked to Carlos publicly, so I wanted to thank you as well.
But hosting, look, I didn't hear anything that MISA said, but I can see everybody is clapping hands for MISA. But
No,
MISA,
I'm not clapping hands for her. I'm not complimenting
of
her.
the EFF at all.
No, daughter, I'm just thanking her for taking her time to come and debate. That's it. I'm not. I'm the host. I can't take sides. And daughter, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to make a submission or piggyback off whatever you heard so far, because you've been here for a while.
My
You
host,
didn't have enough time to speak.
my host, before all the EFF members go, can I also just add one question, and probably they can use it in closing?
You can ask a question. Daughter can include it there, but just keep it short, my leader, because we need to go to other speakers.
Fellow brothers, then based on the rhetoric that you or the sentiments of your political party to say you want this land without compensation, the agency of the state under the EFF, do you think it is going to be 100% prohibited from corruption, first and foremost? And what do you think will happen in terms of the inflation of the country and investor confidence based on this rhetoric of land without compensation?
Daughter, in your 5 minutes, you can include an answer to that question.
But I can still ask you about MK because they are talking about expropriation. You can tell me what is going to happen under MK.
Communist, we will come back. There's next week, hopefully next week, there will be a topic specifically on the land expropriation bill of, a policy of MKP. Then we will focus on that, I promise you. But for this one, we were just focusing on the EFF's one, a defense for it. Next week, it will be a defense from MKP, hopefully, and you're more than welcome to come back and uvanamandla no MISA about that. Daughter, you've got 5 minutes.
Okay, thanks, host. Look, guys, I think I need to explain the land expropriation without compensation, what it means now. It means that the state will be in control of all land, its minerals, and its ocean. in South Africa. So what it means, once we have once the state have land, you understand? Once it have land, what it's going to do is going to demarcate land. There will be land for industrial areas. There will be land for residential areas. You understand? So from there, for agriculture, for everything, you understand? But what is going to happen? The current farmers that are doing farming now, you will have a lease for that farming. You are not going to own the land. Once you stop farming, the state will take the land. And then the state can repurpose that land for something else. So if you come to the state and say, listen, I want to open up a workshop, you understand, in this piece of land, the state will give you a lease, you understand, there will be a lease agreement for a certain period. Once you finish with that, let's say you want to continue, then you can still continue, and then you can still renew your lease. But once you decide to change whatsoever, maybe you were doing your motor mechanic whatsoever, once you decide now I want to do something else, then you still need to go and apply from the state. The reason why the EFF is doing this, because there are billionaires that are coming from overseas, that they come and buy land in South Africa. They make everything expensive for South Africans. So we are avoiding that, guys. So if you are using umhlaba wakho for a particular purpose ethile, understand, uzoyisebenzisa for low period ethile, uzawuba lease agreement ne-state. There will be no individual that will own land in South Africa. There will be no individual. It will be owned by the state. So I'm trying to explain that. Everyone, even like now, the problem is what now? You want to start a business, then you don't have land, because there's some individual that is sitting in America, own a piece of land, I don't know how many hectares of land. You can't touch that land. That boy is there in England, sitting there for 20 years. We are struggling in South Africa. So we are trying to avoid that. That's why we want to take land without compensation. That's why they call it the expropriation of land without compensation. Then even its minerals will be able to control our minerals, all our minerals, the ocean as well. So we are meaning that, guys. So if let's say you want to do, if inatsiga lenduzan in what they call it, if fishing, you will get license, rights zako, then you do inansi fishing yako. If you want to do farming, you will do your farming, you will have license. Then ufumane hectares zako sifunayo, then you use for low purpose leyo. That's what we are meaning xa sisithi umhlaba uzohlala ku-government. Because the problem, the fear about giving inkosi umhlaba, inkosi ziye ziphinde zibe nomkhethe, ziphinde umhlaba ziwunika abantu abathile ngendlela ezifuna ngayo. But now xa ukwazi uya ku-state, uthi state, I need this piece of land, then you will be able to get the land. You understand? So I'm trying to clear Londo leyo, guys, you understand? So there will be no one that will own land. Only you lease land for a certain period. Then from there, when you are done, you can still come and renew your lease. If let's say you don't feel like renewing your lease, then we can repurpose the land for something else. So and explain Anjalondo le. But if anyone on a question again, then can ask that question. I'm here, guys.
That's okay. Ngosindot, I'm gonna come to you, Sigma, after Solomzi. I just want to give Solomzi a couple of minutes. Solomzi, a couple of minutes, and then we'll go to Sigma.
You are now, okay. Can you all hear what we are saying? The same thing. A lot of you are coming here saying the EFF. We are saying different things. We are all saying the same thing. We all understand the manifesto the way we understand in this land thing. It's just that my fighters there at the top, they're being nice guys. They're too shy to say what the kings and the what. Yeah, well, they're being nice about it. Means just that I'm being too direct and being straightforward about it. Another thing, there's someone who said, what about the influencing the currency? Well, won't the currency fall? Sanctions, what, if we do what we want to do? Guys, you have to understand, taking control of your country, there will be a reaction. Of course, other countries do not like this. We have seen this in other cases, in other places in Africa. Of course, there's going to be a reaction, but do not worry. The EFF has a way around it. One of the ways that can be used, this is basically a tour. We have gold, and even our CIC said this. We have gold, yabo. If they try to bring the rent down, which is something they're gonna try to do, like they did in Russia, like they did in Zimbabwe. It worked in Zimbabwe. It didn't work in Russia. Why didn't it work in Russia? Russia has something called oil, and that they can use to prop up their currency. We have the same thing called gold. We have gold and largest amounts of gold to prop up our currency. See, so there's no fear for outside forces that want to enter. No, there's no need for fear mongering. We want absolute control. The state must have absolute control of the country. The same way Russia has absolute control, the same way as China has absolute control. Because right now, we are controlled by white monopoly capital. They don't care about us. They're not creating jobs. They are taking money, resources from our country. They're not reinvesting it. When they ask them, why are you not reinvesting the money that you're making? They say, no, South Africa is too untrustworthy. There's too much corruption. They give reasons and reasons. But the reason high unemployment is because this white capital monopoly, they refuse to reinvest into the country. With socialism and us controlling the government, there's no choice. We take by force. If the company does not want to do the right thing by the people, we take the company and it does for the people. I don't know why you guys are sitting here acting like we need this white capital monopoly people, these few groups. We need each other for each other. Socialism, you put the people first. We fight for the people. The people come number one. You're coming here with title deeds. I mean, I don't want my title deeds to go. To hell with the title deeds. There's 12 million people here in South Africa without jobless. When you're gonna tell me about your title deed, we're not gonna take your house. You're just gonna revoke the deed to the land. It's gonna belong to the writing. When you rather have this land, this small piece of land you have, while 12 million people cannot feed themselves, that's okay with you. 90% of the land is owned by the white monopoly.
Thank you, Sol. Thank you, bro. Sigma. Sigma, you there?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Azania. So it's unbelievable to me that we have people in this day and age, despite the tons of evidence that we have, from history, looking at different countries, not only in Africa, but even beyond, where socialism has failed, yet you still have people that are advocating for the same failed system. It's really just mind-boggling. So here's the thing that I actually want to take this to a different direction, Azania. So, and this is not me deviating from the topic. This is very much connected to the topic that we're discussing right now. Because the issue of migration, according to Stats SA, currently the population of South Africa is something like 64 million. Nobody really knows. But it's projected to grow significantly due to the migration patterns, people coming here both legally and illegally. Apart from the natural birth, which is citizens, having children, but our population is projected to grow because of our porous borders, which the EFF, advocates for. So again, now I need to understand, how do you then reconcile that policy with the policy of land? Because once these people are here, they need places to live, they need places to stay. And in order to build houses, you need land. And one of the concerns that the communists raised is that there isn't enough land to build houses. So where are these people supposed to stay that the EFF is suggesting they must come here? So please understand, this is still the EFF, and it's still an EFF policy which directly speaks to our land redistribution and all of those things. So if someone can just respond to that from the EFF side, I'd be pleased. Thank you.
But
We've got land. We've got enough land in South Africa. We've got enough land in South Africa. As I've mentioned, that there will be a land that will be demarcated for residential areas. There will be
Ndoda,
land that
But
will be demarcated.
you're
Wait,
Ndoda,
contradicting your
wait,
colleague. He said there
wait.
isn't
no,
enough
Can you
land.
wait? Can you wait? I'm
no,
answering your
No,
question
don't
now.
say can I wait? It's my
I'm
time. I'm
answering your
telling
question.
you the help.
I'm answering your question now. I'm answering your
Guys,
question.
hold on,
I'm
hold on.
saying there
Daughter,
is enough
daughter, just
land
one
in South
second.
Africa.
Daughter, one second.
Yebo.
The timer is still on Sigma, so he's in charge of his time. If he wants to reclaim it, he'll be able to reclaim it. You will have a chance to answer after, but when he reclaims his time, allow him to reclaim it. I now owe him about 30 seconds. But go ahead.
okay. Sigma, let me say this, my brother, before Ndoda goes on. First of all, Ndoda, respond to something. I don't know if he didn't understand you when you said the EFF suggests that they must come here and where are they going to stand? Number one, that is a wrong phrase. The EFF has never said foreigners must just come here and have land. And Ndoda, it's already answering you in that line, which is very dangerous. The EFF has never said people
No,
must come here and they will be allocated land.
no, but you're not understanding my question. The EFF is openly and unequivocally suggesting that people must come to South Africa because they are Africans. Now, you raised a concern about the lack of space to build houses. Now, I'm putting the question
Coming
to
to do
you.
what?
How do you reconcile the two policies that are
No,
seemingly, because you
coming
do
to do what?
understand that land is a finite resource.
No,
Even
let's
if you
talk
were to
about.
expropriate it, but because of the population growth of the Africans that you guys are inviting, where will they live? That's what I want to understand. We already have an issue with informal settlements, where people, illegal aliens, are just invading private property and just erecting shacks, which is
My
very
brother,
dystopian. So I
let
need to understand, where will these people live?
I think I got your answer. Let me say this.
Okay.
First of all, even if we can fight illegal immigrants, right? If they go home and come back legally, we can't do anything because then they will be legal. So let's start there. So when we are saying we have got a problem with immigrants or foreigners, let's be very clear that we are talking about the illegality of these immigrants. So if for example they were to go home tomorrow, come back with papers, there's
No,
can do
this is
because whatever
completely
that they
wrong.
say
We
will
are
be
talking
against the
about the
law because there is
utopia. So
evidence.
let's imagine a
I can clarify
scenario where
that.
we
So
grant
now
the
the EFF has
EFF.
never said people must come here,
No, no, my brother.
right?
Let's not do this. The communist, come on, you know. Um,
I missed that. What I'm saying.
okay, I see my time is up, but in short, let me just reformulate the question, maybe for
Sigma,
others to understand.
I'll give you another 60 seconds.
Okay.
I do owe you that anyway. And then we'll go to
I
Tiz.
appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much, Azai. So let me reformulate the question maybe in a more succinct manner for people to understand. I'm saying,
No, in a more logical sense.
no, it is perfectly logical. So listen to this. So I'm saying, um, let's just say in a hypothetical scenario, we granted the EFF their utopia. We put them in government and we give them the leeway to implement their policies, which include the removal of borders and for the welcoming of millions and millions of Africans to South Africa. How do you reconcile that with the concern you raised about the limited space? When you said there's not enough space to build houses. Now I'm asking, where will these people live? Because space and land are finite resources. So how will you contend with the population growth, which will be unprecedented? I mean, this is logical because both of these are EFF policies. So thank you.
First of all, we don't have the removal of borders in the EFF. We've got the integration of the African economy. We don't have the removal of borders. So that is why now whatever that you're asking will fall off automatically. And we've never said people must come here illegally to come and occupy the unoccupied land. We are not talking about foreigners. We are talking about South Africans. We are saying they must occupy the unoccupied land. South Africans, purely South Africans, because part of the registration of these people, like in Juju Valley, after they've occupied the unoccupied land, when they went there to regulate those people, they wanted ID documents, meaning if you had occupied that land illegally, you were not going to be registered for the services. So that is how, the propaganda machinery of this country just wake up and decide to say things out of proportion. So the EFF has never said illegal immigrants must occupy South Africa's land. So when you say, where's the land? I can ask you that question and say, where does South Africans go into to get the land? Because South Africans do need land also. So we are not giving land to foreigners here. We are giving land to South Africans. And if a legal immigrant, somebody that is documented, come to South Africa and seeks accommodation in your house and you rent it out, that's up to you. So let's not put things into the EFF that the EFF doesn't know. And we are not going to sit here and account for Sinao Tambo having said something on Twitter or on a podcast. We are talking
No,
about
man.
what the EFF stands for in terms of policy and what they
Okay,
stand for.
let me come in here quickly, the communist. You know, this is so disingenuous and very condescending because I don't know, like you guys think we don't read or something, like you think we get our opinions from Malema or something. Let me quote directly from the 2024 manifesto of the EFF. It says, we demand the immediate scraping of borders that divide Africans and the creation of a borderless Africa where every African can live, work, thrive in any part of the continent without restriction. And that's just one. So you cannot come here and say, no, the EFF
Thank you,
never
Simba.
advocated for the removal. Come on, guys. What are we
No,
even
no,
doing
no,
here?
let's
Hold on,
clarify.
communist, hold on, communist, my leader, please. Just once again. I need Kaiser to speak because I need to close soon. But just before Kaiser comes in, Ndoda, are you available Sunday at around 7 to discuss the African currency, the one currency stance of the AFF? Are you available for that?
Yes.
Okay. Like that again, then singer organize. Sharp.
Sure.
Kaiser, if you can just close my leader, I've got 3 minutes.
Ngiphi 5 minutes mfethu. Angithi manje sengiyavala vele. Firstly, the communist, I might not agree with your answers, but the bottom line is that your answers are actually coherent. Like they are actually coherent. They follow the rules of logic, right? I think if anybody should have come up to answer the questions, it should have been you. Because you are even cognizant of dangerous premises to say, if somebody answers this question that EFF wants illegal immigrants and where are they going to stay, by default, they are actually falling into the premise. I must give you that you are quite competent, and I think the other fighters must just yield the mic to you to answer the questions because you are doing a better job. Now, Solomzi earlier on, because I don't think he understands what he's doing, and when you actually understand better what is happening and what we are dealing with. He said earlier on, when we asked Uguti, are you going to be taking land from the kings as well? Those people who actually fought to defend the land and were conquered. Now, restoration means you must put things back in order and restore what was taken away from those who were conquered, right? Now, Usolomzi rushingly said that, yeah, Vele will take all the land, even from the kings. I don't know why he's saying you are saying the same thing, because you said something totally different from what he said. He actually said the kings were conquered anyway, and a lot of them were sellouts. That's what he said. So basically justifying that the kings are irrelevant according to his point of view, which is dangerous because he represents it as the point of view of the EFF. And I think by saying you are not going to answer for anybody who speaks on TikTok, you are actually taking that power away from Solomzi, because you can see that a lot of people who purport to support the EFF are being very clumsy on these panels. They are being very clumsy, and I think you are mature enough to recognize that, and I respect that of you. And I think if anybody should have been here to participate in that debate, it should have been you. And if anybody should have come up to answer the questions, it should have been you. Even though I can see that you are politicking, but your politics are coherent. You can walk away with a sense of acceptance. Not this I'm so brave and revolutionary type of reckless statements that we've been hearing. You cannot erase the kings without erasing our very identity, guys. When you do that, you are lingering on basically vindicating colonization. You are saying basically we are colonized, we are colonized. Let's carry on with just erase our identity even more. The kings are conquered, they are useless, they were betrayers. So let's just strip our identity once and for all, right? Because the kings are actually the cornerstone of our identity, guys. And then everything else mushrooms from there, you know. So I find that the communists, I have to give you your credit in that regard, because as people are answering, you are actually examining their thinking capacity and their thought process, right? Some people are sloganeers. They don't actually examine what they are actually saying. They just, as long as it rhymes, they speak. As long as it sounds good, they speak and don't realize when they've set dangerous traps for themselves. And Tina, because we are at a vantage point where we are able to examine from outside, we are very dangerous when we participate, because when we come in, you are in trouble, you know. So I would advise, I hope people take pointers from you, especially EFF people. This is how it should be done. Don't undermine him and say that he's just being nice. No, he's actually being a politician, a proper politician. This is how it ought to be done. You are going to put your own organization in muddy waters, because whether you like it or not, whatever you do represents your organization to the public, and people are not going to give you that clause of saying no, you are not within the EFF. As long as you say you speak for the EFF, they'll take it. You are the ones who presented this image that you want foreigners to flood the country. But Sigma, that quotation, that was dangerous. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keze. Guys, I know that you'd love to continue with the topic, but unfortunately, I have to run. On Sunday, we have a debate. Ndoda has agreed. Ndoda's opponent has also agreed. I was talking to him on WhatsApp just now. So we do have a debate on Sunday on the economy of Pan-Africanism, how one African currency is going to work
Host,
or not going to work.
ubuze kumntu
Just 1 second,
we-EFF
Lelo.
ungathathi
Yes.
umisa umenze we-EFF ongowe-MK, makathethe ngeepolisi zakhe ze-MK ahlukane neepolisi ze-EFF angazaziyo.
Uzawubuya
Lelo
so
See, I love,
guys.
I love for these people to be platform.
manje sekumoshakele.
Lelo uzawubuya
But
umisa angene
Ulokunja,
ngepolisi
to be honest, host, the communist has put some dignity on the EFF argument, honestly. Yo, the
true,
rest was
true.
was a mess, bro. Yo,
That's
it
why
was a
I
train
would
smash.
love to have communist back, but I'll chat with him in the DMs. I followed him.
I would love to debate him.
Okay. Okay, case. Okay, that's okay. Versus the communist. We'll talk about it. But
Kaiser, don't do that to yourself, my brother.
You?
All right, I'm sorry. I take it back.
You?
While we're on the subject, Azania, please set one between myself and Solomzi as well.
Mama, you want total distraction, man. Josilo Kaiser was here pandering.
No,
Say,
but
you don't say this and say that. Man, when you wanna debate me, you're
it's okay. Listen, guys. I'm more than happy to make that happen. Communist and case, I'll make that happen. I'll have a chat with both of you guys. And Ndoda Sunday will be debating Ukolo on the Pan-Africanist economy and how this a case for a united currency, a united African currency. Ukolo has agreed, Ndoda has agreed publicly, so it's gonna happen. I will host it. Ubani sisi?
wedudulisa bakhona ke sive ezinye iipolisi ezinye imibutho
Ewe unantsika kaloku unantsika lamjida uxolo ngowedudula uxolo, so uzaba khona then kule veki zayo
uxolo
uxolo awukrwada lelo hayi mtyholo uxolo ethule kangaka uxolo. Okay guys, nzawuvala askisine that we can't continue talking, but communists, I really appreciate you coming, bro. Ndoda, I appreciate you coming. Seula, Solomzi, Sigma, and everyone else. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, King Kafifi Azania, man. You know, we were told that he's a secret person from BFF. Our Carlos. Man, that was embarrassment, man. Communist, I also agree, man. I think really, so Loms, so Miss, mm-mm. Please, man,
Nah,
go
so
and
let's
read
let's
the
close it.
EFF policies properly. So thanks, man.
Let's close it, gents. Thank you so much. Let's close it. Let's close it. I found. Yeah, go find a home, guys, somewhere. Go and immigrate, be immigrants, and find a panel. Bye bye.
No, thank you, Azania. Good night, everyone.